All right, welcome people, or person as it stands right now. Hope everything's cool tonight. It's another Monday and the first day of October. And so, welcome, and we'll hang out here. I'm Rusty from Stunthangar Control Line Forums, and we'll hang out here and talk about aeromodeling, control line, whatever you like to talk about. And hopefully, we'll get some video viewers drop in and we'll have some good conversation. We'll stay here till about midnight or 1 Eastern time, depending on how the conversation flows. And the links are posted on the forums and the At the Bench thread. And if you want to watch on the YouTube watch page, the link to that is also there. And so there we have it, waiting for our first visitors to arrive. And it's a nice hot October week here. I think the highs are supposed to be in the 90s all week, so pretty typical. Usually the weekend that features the Huntersville contest is about the first cool weekend we have, and that's I think on the 20th, yeah, the 19th, 20th, and 21st of October. So keep that in mind if you can make it to North Carolina, Huntersville for that. We'd love to have you. If you've never been before, it's cool. Hey, Bob Bishop, how you doing tonight? Glad to see you dropping in. You beat Jack Snavely tonight. He's usually been the first one in lately. He one upped you, but you got him tonight. So hope you're doing okay. I was just saying hello to everybody. The usual introductions. It's nice weather. No more storms are on the horizon, and the water is starting to recede in South Carolina's low country, according to a friend I have who lives down there. And I asked him today, and he said it's slowly going down, but sewers and water systems are still flooded. Houses are still up to the windowsills. And Bob says, long day today, tongue is dragging, probably crash soon. Well, yeah, that's a typical Monday, isn't it? So hang with us as long as you can, and get some rest so you can have a good week. Do some fun things so you can come back Friday and talk about them. Seems like Fridays come up awful quick. I don't know whether to be sad about that because it means I'm getting older faster, or happy about it because it's always almost Friday. But I guess the Mondays come just about as soon. But anyway, we've got 8 viewers on YouTube, and thank y'all for having contributed so much lately to the super chat, the $sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat box. I appreciate that because it not only does that help keep Sparky in business, but it's good for me too. And nice to have a little walking around change. Jack Snavely, he made it. Hello again. Really like your shows. I'm here and listening. All right. So Jack's ready for cinema entertainment. So you guys with your cameras, come on in, and let's entertain these two boys. Meanwhile, I'll sit here and try to think of something to talk about. I did get out to the shop last night and got the shop vac going, and finally got the floor vacuumed up a little bit, sucked up a couple of hundred black widow spiders, and tried to make it presentable so I'm more inspired to get out there and do some work. I got a model out there that's been dying for me to get out there and glue some wood, and just haven't been able to motivate myself to do it, mostly because it hurts to walk out there, but I think a little motivation would help too. So let's see. Bob says, always working, just lurk when I can. Yeah, that's cool, Bob. Most of our fans are lurkers, whether it's either on YouTube while we're doing the show, or whether they watch it in their shop later on while they're working on planes. Um, I, I guess I'm the new age Wendy, except I have very few of Wendy's building skills. I'd like to be able to present stuff like that, but I depend on the people that come visit me. And we get a good, vast array of skilled people in here. People with a wide a wide range of skills. You know, from combat to building to um, everything control. And the only thing I can think of we hadn't really talked about much is carrier. So if any of you carrier dudes are watching, we'd love to learn about that too. Um, I've learned a lot about electric control line, and that is since we've got a growing population of guys that fly electric in here, and it's got plenty of advantages. And there's a lot of glowheads like me that love the smoke and oil of an internal combustion engine, but sometimes they're just not convenient, you know, with noise and rules and regulations when you are flying electric. A lot of times, if it would be against some kind of rule or regulation, people don't even know you're there because they can't hear you. And the fact that it's quiet makes it seem safer than it really probably is. And Jack says it's sometimes hard to get a plane started, but once started, it's hard to stop, and then it's over too fast. Yeah, the captain turns out the fun light before the flight's over. That's why I started when I was flying half A's. That's why I started putting bladders on them instead of depending on the little teeny tanks. Because I always felt like the fun light flickered before the fun was actually over. And so, yeah. But I haven't got any electric equipment. If I started, I'd go to Brodak and get that set up where you can buy I think they make a complete electric setup where you buy one package and you've got everything you need to get kick started. Whether or not that includes a charger, I don't know. I suspect it probably does. But it'll fly probably I don't know if it's a half A setup or if it's like a 35 size plane setup. But if you are interested in electric and you don't know anything about it, and you don't get everything you need from our discussions here, then look into that um, part. It's not a part. It's a item that Brodak sells that is for kickstarting you into electric. Now, I'm not trying to push anybody over the fence, but I'm just saying it's an option that's out there if you have any of the common problems that people have, making a lot of noise and drawing a lot of attention. You can go quietly fly your electrics and you're done before anybody knows it. And Bob says, back in my day, bladders were only for the speed guys. Yeah, but us regular sport flying guys found out that they were good for um, things like baby flight streaks and all of that little stuff. I mean, anything half A. You just take a inch and a half long piece of surgical tubing. It's less than a quarter inch wide, probably I don't know, 3/16. I don't remember now, but and put a bladder on it. I put a one-way valve in the tail of it, and so I can just walk up to the back of it, stick the syringe in it with a little barb adapter on it, fill it up, and go. Once you get the needle set, especially if you got a TD or something like that, once you get the needle set, you pretty much never have to adjust it again, except for maybe if the weather, temperature, or altitude changes drastically in some way. But the only other trick, talking TDs and stuff now, is keeping the fuel system, the plumbing, the orifices around the neck of the Venturi clean. And and just making sure you got good flow. And it's the most dependable, easiest one start thing you ever had. And the only other real accessory you need, except for one of those little orange barb tips that I buy from Texas Timers that screw onto any lure lock syringe, or these plastic syringe, plastic hemostats here. So you just clip that in front of your fuel line, and as soon as it cranks, unclamp it. If it's too rich, then just squeeze back down on it while you adjust your needle, and then let off and see. And if you have to just keep, and always keep the needle set, Rich, when you begin, and that way you'll know you'll be able to just squeeze it, adjust, and just keep opening and closing like that, and keep the engine running until it'll stay by itself. When it'll run by itself, the needle's set and you're ready to go. And that's about the last time you'll have to adjust it for the whole weekend or whatever, and clean it up good when you get back home. Count the turns on the needle and stay there. So yeah, it's as simple as that. And I've got a couple of good videos on how to make bladders and how to run them too, on my YouTube channel, which is called Rusty K, Rusty Space K. There's more.
Hey, Rusty, you look a little lonesome tonight.
I am, but my mouth seems to be running okay. So it took me a minute to get started, but thanks for dropping in.
Thought I'd join you for a while.
Yeah, keep me company, man. Appreciate it. So you're whipped tonight, huh?
What's that?
So what's going on with you tonight?
Oh, nothing much. Got a club meeting in Saturday, so I got to get ready for that. I'm VP. Keeps me busy.
So is it what do y'all do at your club meetings? Or are they flying meetings? And
yeah, usually we run them from 10 to about 11, get everything up to date as far as coming events, who's been doing what, and then it's a flying session.
Yeah.
The problem we got right now is that it has been so blasted hot by 11 o'clock around here, you can't do much.
Right.
The last 3 days, we've had record high temperatures. 97 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Raw temperature.
Wow. Yeah, it's supposed to be hot here for the next couple of weeks, but it was okay today. It was only I think it got up to 87 or something like that, but not too bad.
Yeah, it gets miserable, no question about it. And it's, I would expect that it would have started dropping by now, but it hasn't.
We usually show up about 10 o'clock or so and play with our airplanes until 12 and eat lunch. And then if it's still nice weather, we'll fly. And we usually have the meeting early afternoon. And then if it's too hot to fly, everybody goes home. If not, they hang out the rest of the day. And it depends on where we are, because we mix up our locations. Some of them have a good shelter where we can stay out of the sun. And up at Triple Tree, they even have ceiling fans in that shelter. You've maybe seen a picture of it. It's just an open, kind of like a picnic shed, only fancier, made out of bricks and concrete. But
yeah, our club is Triple Creek RC, and we've got a long shelter on both sides, plus a clubhouse in the center. So we have a covered area, which makes it tolerable as long as there's a little breeze.
Yeah. Have y'all got good charging stations for you?
Oh yeah, we got charging stations everywhere. It's strictly an RC club. If I get off my dead butt one of these days, they said that they'd be more than happy to put a control line circle in, but it's a matter of rounding up somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Grass circle.
That's nice.
Yeah, we've got the room to do it.
Yeah, I prefer grass circles myself, except for competition. I do like the paved circles because they're generally easier to take off and land on with reasonable scores on your sheets, with the exception of Triple Tree, whose grass is good enough to score well anyway. But is still forgiving when you crash.
Yeah, well, I flew Carrier, Rat Race, Goodyear for many years, and flying that off of pavement's the only way to do it.
Yeah. Let's see. Gerald's here. He says he doesn't think he's going to make it in tonight. Oh, Alina's home and she's got them all cleaning, but he'll listen if he can.
Well, I usually manage to get all tired about 11, so I will switch over to YouTube until about then, and then I'll say goodnight to you guys. Then I watch the rest of the show next morning.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in and bailing me out. Let's see. Bob Bishop just said he's got a bunch of these hemostats that I was talking about right before you popped in for cranking up your bladder fed planes. And the combat guys put other little clips that are mounted on the planes or made out of a little fishing, half of a fishing slide clamp. Sometimes they use that. You can slide the line to the fat side and it'll flow, or push it over and it'll pinch it off. I like
this way. I know what a voodoo is through combat too.
Yeah, I've got one reason I am glad I finally got the shop vacuumed up is I can get out there now and do stuff like mount this Fox 36 on the Super Satan, because it's going to Huntersville whether I fly or not.
That's a beautiful airplane.
Yeah, it sure is. And Tom Luciano was on here the other night and says he's definitely going to be at Huntersville. And he had gone ahead and reserved his room just in case, and so now he's confirmed that he's definitely going to be there. So he and Mike Lunchke can have a good time flying it.
Yeah, I won't be able to get out of Florida. I got family coming in for about 3 weeks in a row. So,
well, at least you don't have any storms coming in. We got a couple of more months before hurricane season's over.
Yeah, but it's pretty much gone now. September's the big one.
Mm-hmm. Boy, it has been on the East Coast, and you got two coasts. So August, July, August, and September is always questionable in Florida, because it's the early ones that usually go in the Gulf, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was living in North Carolina in the early 90s, and I got hit by Fran when she came through just outside of Raleigh and smashed everything. Did a real good job of cleaning out the excess trees.
Yeah, I remember the name, but they all run together. And
yeah.
Now I just can't. I mean, I remember the ones that seriously affected me, like Hugo is probably at the top of that list. When I was a kid, there was a David that came through here and tore it up pretty good. And then the year before I was born or after I was born, Hurricane Hazel really tore up our coast and the part of the beach that I consider my home at the beach at Pawleys Island. Hurricane Hazel really tore it up. Now, I don't remember if I was born in 56, so Hazel was either 54 or 57. I forget which.
My, you are a youngster.
Oh, yeah. I'm a 62-year-old man trapped inside of a 90-year-old body.
A pre-World War II baby, my friend.
My dad fought in World War II, and his brother and his father. Actually, his father had served in World War I and tried to join. They wouldn't let him to rejoin into the Navy, and so they finally let him join the Coast Guard for World War II. So
that's good. Yeah,
Charles was out there.
Years in Naval Reserve, so.
Charles says he's going to be a no-show. Sorry, I interrupted you. What did you say?
I said I put about 12 years in the Naval Reserve, but my timing was absolutely perfect. After Korea, before Vietnam.
I registered for the draft near the end of Vietnam in '72, I guess, and of course that was when they found out that I was medically ineligible for the service. So,
Yeah, it's not a bad life.
yeah, my whole family's been in the service except for me, but I didn't try to sign up just because they had, but I just thought, that was something that might be good to do, and
It's the right thing to do at the time.
I missed out on it. It would have still been a little bit in the Vietnam years. It was in the Nixon years. It was in '72. When did Nixon come into office? Somewhere around then.
The Vietnam War was over in '74.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe it was closer to '74 when I registered then, because that's when I would have been 18. Yeah. So I got my years a little off there.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
I would be very happy to be getting back out into my workshop because it's just like an oven out there still.
Yeah. Sometimes Lowe's puts these roll around air conditioners on sale where you can either let the condensation fill up a bucket and then dump it periodically, or you can hose it out, under a door, or I guess you could put a hole in the wall or something. And they do a pretty good job of cooling a small area off. How big is your workshop?
It's 20 by 20.
It would do that, and I've seen those on sale for close to $100, I think.
It's not bad.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what I've looked at them.
Yeah. Oh, have you? We stayed in
doing it.
We stayed in a little garage apartment beach house one time, and it had that in it, and it kept that room chilling pretty good. And it was probably smaller than 20 by 20. It was probably 14 by 14, something like that. It was tiny, but it got it down blue lip cold in there.
That's good. As long as you can keep it cool, reasonable.
Yeah. I worry about drawing that much current off of my ancient electrical system in my current workshop, and not tending it. I wouldn't want to leave the air conditioner on when I'm not there for that reason. And always walking around feeling the walls near the outlets and making sure they don't feel warm or anything like that. And I don't usually run into any kind of trouble. Well, I never have actually, but I just can't get it out of my mind that thing could burst into flames at any minute. It was built in 1948, I'm pretty sure, which is when this house was built. And that old wire, and it's had squirrels in the attic, and no telling what kind of things are waiting to go.
Well, I got a couple 20 amp outlets out there, so I got the power. It's just a matter of doing it. And my house is not that old. It's only 10 years old, so I got decent wiring in it. Yeah.
Derek Barry's father. Are you familiar with Derek Barry?
It doesn't ring a bell.
He's one of our local heroes. He's been a top flyer at the Nats, and I think he won the Junior Worlds one time. And I could be mistaken about that, but anyway, his dad was building way before Derek came along. But his dad had squirrels in the attic chewing on the wiring, and he stepped outside one day and turned around, and the whole shop, just watched the whole shop go up in flames with all of his planes and equipment in it.
What a bummer.
Oh, that's just horrible, isn't it?
Yeah. It's bad enough when you actually burn up some old equipment. It's bad to look at.
Yeah.
But they have no control over it.
Yeah, and Bob asked me if it's 120 volt. Yeah, it is. It is 120 volts, Bob. The air conditioner is. We got Steven online. Hey, how you doing tonight, Steve?
Hey, Rusty, how we doing?
Steve McBride, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're pretty good. We just trying to hit our groove, and Ron came in to bail me out while I didn't have any visitors, so I didn't have to. So I didn't have to talk to myself for a half hour. So I
We were talking about the weather more than anything else.
Yeah, well, we're finding something to talk about.
Is the weather good? Is that what you're talking about?
What'd you say, Steve?
Is the weather good? Is that what you're talking about?
It's hot.
Yeah, but hot's better than stormy. It's pretty good here in Columbia right now. We had thunderstorms last week, and it's going to be in the in mid to high 90s all this week, I think. And so, yeah, we're doing okay. I'm in central South Carolina, and then Ron's in Florida. So, where in Florida, Ron? I forget.
Outside of Tampa.
Okay, I've been to Tampa before.
Yeah, we've had September. Every day in September was 90 plus.
Yeah,
that's the kind of weather.
That's nothing. 90 plus, that's nothing. Every day in September, I had 105 plus.
Where are you, Steve?
Las Vegas.
Oh,
Right.
That's right. Yeah, you're out there with Dane Martin and those guys.
You know, I know the East Coast, you get 80, 90 degrees and a lot of humidity.
Yeah.
So you got 90 plus out there, and you got a lot of humidity.
The trend where I live generally in Columbia is through the second half of June and the middle of July. It's usually at or over 100 every day, and it gradually tapers off, but then the humidity rises, and so it's just about as miserable. And by the time August gets here, the bugs are big.
See, that's one thing I don't miss. I moved out here, and the mosquitoes and everything, they went away. I don't have to deal with that mess anymore.
Yeah, Bob comments that Las Vegas is mostly dry heat. And yep. I remember when I was in Las Vegas, it was 120 one day, and I was walking down the street outside of the hotel, and when I would go in the shade under the, the parking decks in front of the casino open entrances, then in the shadows, the wind would actually cause me to chill a little bit. If I had a little sweat on my skin, it would evaporate so fast it would cause my skin to chill.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you can be in one section of it and you be in the heat, and if you perspire a lot, you'll sweat up, and then walk down the street, all of a sudden, boom, be in a different area and just dry up.
Yeah.
Dry, and it's such a dry heat, you dry up fast. I mean, sometimes I go in my type of work, I go into these hot attics and stuff, and I come out, my shirt is all drenched, and I go back outside, and I'm out there in 20 minutes, dried up again.
Yeah.
It's just the way the heat just rises up quick here.
It would take me a while to acclimate to that radical changes in the temperature or radical changes in the humidity like that.
Well, that's only when I said the heat. You go into an attic up here, and attic is about 140 degrees.
Yeah.
And the type of work I do, I'm an electrician, and when I have to work in the attics and I have to do that type of work, it's that kind of hot there. But outside, like today, we hit 85s to 92, 93. Not too bad.
That's pretty nice.
With no humidity, it feels like a comfortable spring day.
Yeah, that's the problem Florida's got. It's got the heat plus the humidity.
Yeah. When they got out here and they say it's hot, and it's 80, 90 degrees, I like it. It's like a comfortable spring day out here because you get a little bit of a breeze and you don't feel nothing, and it's all well and good. But summertime, forget it. From June, July, August, we're hitting 115 degrees plus, 120, 115, 117, 120 degrees. And that's brutal.
Yep.
What kind of work do you do, Steve?
What's that?
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an electrician, but we do residential and commercial work, or mostly a lot of reconstruction.
Mm-hmm.
service work, service core work, service repairs, refab work. That's what this company's outfit's designed with. But works out good.
I guess there's
The only thing I don't like about it is it's over time consuming. And sometimes there's such a demand for what I have to do, it cuts into my flying time.
yeah, I was about to say there must be just a huge amount of work as far as construction projects and development going on there, because there's no boundaries to stop it from expanding and expanding, is there?
Oh, they're building like crazy out here again. When I first moved out here, there was a bunch of building projects that were in the process, and everything was at a dead stop because of the recession, and everybody's saying there's no jobs and no work, and everything went to nothing. Now that things started picking up and the economy got better, they're building like mad out here, and the industry got extremely, very, very busy in just quite a few several years.
Yeah,
about 2 years, it almost doubled.
you have the influx of people moving in like we do. I heard a report a couple days ago that there are 500 people a day moving into Florida.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, so where do they go? You got to build houses.
They have to build houses. They're building houses like crazy, and they're building these developments all over.
Uh-oh.
We lost them.
Somebody must have turned his electricity off. Bob Bishop says that back in his jumping days, he'd sometimes take off in the 90s soaking wet and then shoot up into the 40s and freeze his ass off. Yep, I guess you would. Somebody cut your electricity off, Steve?
Yes, I don't know, something happened with this computer. All of a sudden it came up and it said some kind of notice, and boom, it clicked me right out. So
No, you're supposed to pay your bills.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I pay my bills. Something came up and said AOL benefits, and you can get all of these promotions, and it came on and clicked me right out.
Sounds like it's time to run malware bites and clean it out.
Yeah, something. It came up there and it gave me this thing. I can get these promotion benefits. I don't want that now.
Yeah. Anything.
But yeah, they build like crazy out here now. And when I first came out here, there was over 2 million people in the population, and it more than doubled already. It's way more than doubled already.
It's been since 1981 or 82 since I was out there. I would like to go out again and see the difference. There's a lot out the plains states and the desert and all of the southeastern areas in the United States that I'd like to just beat around and tour and see that I've never seen before. And I don't suppose I'll get out there now, but that is something that's always been.
When people have a misconception of with Las Vegas too, and a lot of people said to me when I first moved out here, they thought I was out of my mind. But you know, everybody, when you mention Las Vegas, everybody's a tourist. They only know a majority of them know the Strip. Everybody knows Las Vegas and knows the Strip, and that's how Las Vegas is associated. Get outside the Strip and actually see how the town is developed. How there's actually a living town out here that's developed, which is amazing and remarkable. That's set up there. And that's the same thing like when you talk about Florida. Florida, people know it for Disney World, and people know for Daytona Beach and Miami. Yeah. They know the tourist areas. But tell them somewhere else, they never heard of it.
Yeah.
Walt Disney World, it's where everybody goes.
Yeah. Exactly. So you tell people the tourist areas, like you mentioned Las Vegas, the tourist area, everybody knows the Strip. Everybody knows the Strip.
Yeah.
Let me take you and show you actually what type of town is out here and how much more you can actually do in the town, which is incredible. That is people don't even see. until they actually come out here, and then they find out how the cost of living is so much greater and that more beneficial. They go back home, they put their house for sale, and move out here. A lot of people have done that. Same thing with Florida. People go to Florida because they say they like to retire out there, and they retire and they say the cost of living is better.
Yeah. Do you ever do the casino scene?
Yeah. Yeah, I try to limit myself and keep it controlled because you can get it to take it just like any other. It can become an addiction if you had taken it wrong, and it can really take advantage of you and go wrong to that point. I keep it as a pleasurable leisure thing and so forth, and then I go together with the family also, and they like to go out to eat. You play a little bit, and you say, "Okay, I had a little fun," and you just keep it as a social
gambling. With my only experience out there, I won some money the first day and lost it the second day, and came back. Actually, I was in the Atlanta airport on the way home, and all I had was a nickel in my pocket. But back then, I only went out there with $150, and I think I had about 300 the second day, and then a nickel when I was coming back home. So I'm not cut out for gambling. I'm no good at it.
Yeah, neither am I. I was out there 1 year. The gambling paid for my trip. It's the last time I've been there.
Yeah, if you go there and always, whenever you go into a casino, first thing you do is get those comp players cards. So you get some remedies, back out of them, that they'll give you something back from it. So always get your players card for it. So for whatever you do play. But whatever you do play, if you come out that you say, okay, I chose to lose this much money and that's what's lost, and you say that's in the end and leave, you're going to do okay. If you try to chase your money to say, I got to win it back, you're going to lose, for sure. And you're going to get into trouble. Now, the other hand is if you come out even or ahead, pack it up quick, get out the door, because they're going to find a way like Rusty, like they did to you. One day you won it, the next day they find a way to take it back.
Yeah.
Very true. They will do it.
Do y'all pay a state income tax?
No state income tax.
Jack Snavely was asking about that over on YouTube.
Yeah, we don't pay no state income tax because that's all funded through the casinos.
You don't in Florida either, do you, Ron?
Nope, no income tax in Florida.
You have tourist areas, and the tourist areas bring enough revenue in that pay for the income tax.
Tourist taxes pay our income tax.
Yeah, the tourist taxes pay income tax. That's why when they come over here, and I always see the tourists out here, and they say they're visiting, I tell them, thank you very much. Please come again. Welcome. And I tell them, thank you for paying our taxes.
Yeah.
I smile every time I see an out-of-state license plate.
Absolutely. I mean, the people, California's not too far from here. They come here all week long, and especially on the weekends, and they pack up the hotels. So I enjoy that they constantly come out here, and they're a big part of it. But I see the tourists out here all the time, and I'm happy as could be that they're out here.
Jack says he was out there as a crane operator for a while. He's from Kansas, and made good money doing that. Bob Bishop says his entire gambling history involves buying a $1 lotto ticket and winning $2.
I'll tell you an interesting story about the lottery tickets. My mother retired there from Michigan, lived in Detroit. Every year, just before her city taxes came due, which was around $500-600, she would win the lottery. And for 7 years straight, she paid her taxes that way.
My goodness.
Wow.
That's a pretty good streak.
I never inherited that from her.
I never won in the lottery, and they don't have no lottery out here.
October 1st, even with the shooting.
Okay. So I was just recalled and remembered here. Today's a very sad, memorable day. October 1st, if you've all heard about it, was the Harvest Festival shooting.
Yep.
You heard about that? You saw that on the news? That was.
I did, actually. as little as I watched the news, I did catch that today.
Yeah, that was October 1st was a year ago today. Now it was the Harvest Festival shooting. So today's not a great day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't imagine so.
For the town. So good. Although one thing that came up was they brought the town down a lot because of that, and a lot of people scared so in a way. One thing that did bring this town back up really, really quick was when the Golden Knights came out, and we finally got a hockey team.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we had a hockey team here in Columbia for a while, and we've had several nearby in South Carolina. And I like going to hockey games, but you had to, if you're not familiar with hockey, you have to learn how to watch it because it's different from watching basketball, football, baseball, any other sport. And if you want to talk to the person sitting next to you, you can't take your eyes off and look at who you're talking to, or you'll miss the only goal scored in the whole period, and not be able to keep up with what's going on. It's an attention intensive game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I followed hockey for quite some years. I was a Devils fan. But I took my father at that time, and he wasn't really a person who followed hockey. I took him and said, come on, I'm going to take you to a game. He wasn't able to follow the game, but he enjoyed the fights. That was fun.
Went to a fight, and a hockey game broke out.
Oh, yeah, that's what he waited for. You can say, what are they going to do to fight?
Eddie Sutter just joined us. How you doing, Eddie?
Doing good. Y'all talking about hockey, man. My wife's a big Predators fan.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
We're talking about just about everything except airplanes tonight. But we just hadn't hit our groove yet. But we got Ron and Steve came in and bailed me out. I was talking to myself for a while there at first, and so now there's three of you in here with me. What you been doing for fun?
Working. You want to call it fun?
Yeah, well, at least they pay you to do it, I guess. But
quick question here. Maybe I don't know, you may be able to answer it. Some of these other guys might. I bought some plans the other day on eBay, and one of them is an old Cobra 7. I don't know if anybody heard of it, but it's a built-up body, but it's the old style where you have a solid block and you have to hollow it out.
Hollow log, yeah. Is the designer Walt Musiano?
I don't know. I got it right here.
That's who did a lot of the hollow log planes.
Down in one of the corners, it will have WAM if he designed it.
Oh, it says S. Woolley.
Say it again.
S. Woolley.
Oh, Steve Woolley.
Oh, you know that one, Ron?
Yep, I've seen it, but I never had one.
Yeah, the top block is a 3/4 balsa block hollowed out, and the bottom is hollowed out. And it's only got 2 bulkheads in it. But I was wondering how difficult it is to take a built-up body and just make a profile out of it. Would the wing still, would it still function?
I believe it would be fine. You just trace.
Because I got the profile there. All I'd have to do is, if nothing else, maybe kind of do like the Tudor 2, where it's if I doubled the fuselage with 1/2-inch balsa and drilled holes in it to lighten it up some, and cover it instead of paint it. I don't know if that would work as long as I don't do any structural damage to the.
Why would you want to make that Cobra into a profile?
Because I have no clue how to hollow out the body.
A Dremel does wonders.
That's what I was about to say. A Dremel with they make all kind of tips for them. You just
Or it has the top formers for it, right? On the plans, it shows the top formers, which you can trace out. Go down to a florist shop and get that green foam, and then just make a mold. And instead of doing that, don't use the block, because the block's gonna even give you more weight. And of course, it's a pain in the neck to hollow. Make a top block mold, and the same with the bottom.
And just wrap it.
Yeah, just wrap it.
Yeah,
Get that foam and wrap it, and you get an ace bandage. You can soak that stuff with ammonia. You soak it in the tubs. You can soften that wood up so much. Bend it with no problem. Bend it around the mold and just wrap it with an ace bandage. Make the mold exactly the way you want the top block, the way it would show, and the same on the bottom block. The heck with using that top block and try to gut it out. Of course, you could use the Dremel, and you could do that if you want more strength to it.
Yeah, it's showing here.
Not needed.
It's showing that it has, I don't know if y'all can see this. There's a bulkhead there, and the wing would go here, and then there's another bulkhead there and there. So that's 4 bulkheads. That should be plenty. Now I could probably put one above the wing here.
Is that a twin?
No.
No, it's a single engine. Cobra is a single engine.
It's a single engine, yeah.
What's it say it's for? 46 to a 60?
Don't know. Okay.
How many square inches?
Says designed by Steve Woolley.
I know that Cobra.
Engine ST46, weight 48 ounces, wing area 639, wingspan 56.
That's a 40 size.
Yeah.
46, you read over the night. What were you going to power it with?
Oh, I don't know. I just got the plans. If I got to put anything on it, I got to
put 60 in it.
I got a Fox 45 I'd probably put on it.
Build it light.
Or
not much wing area, otherwise I would tell you wouldn't. I got a buddy of mine out here, one of our flying guys. He's got the same Cobra. Flies with an ST51 square head, works really nice. Or go to either an ST60 or something a little bit bigger with it. You like that power consumption for it. That's a great turning airplane.
I got these two here. I got a Fox Eagle and a Enya 60. I don't even know what size the Eagle is. Is that a 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that one in this Enya here. It's so I was curious as to how, I could try it and see if it don't work out, I'll just make it a profile.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to try to carve one out, hollow one out like that. I've never done it before either. And if you botch it up, hell, just trace a flat slab profile and turn it into that.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's an older plan, looks like, and been photocopied a couple of times because you can see the shadow marks on it where it's been a copy of a copy, probably a copy of a copy. And
keep in mind that the measurements change every time it's copied too. So, Oh
yeah, I measure it. Yeah.
I would build it as a built-up though, and do it that way. Use the Dremel and ream out and Dremel out the top blocker out. You're better off just make the formers.
Right. That's what I. That's what I.
On the way doing that, it's going to be a lot more user friendly and easier to work with.
I think it make it lighter too.
Absolutely.
Bob Bishop just said goodbye to us. He's out of here. I think he's tired. He's going to bed tonight.
Oh.
That should be a good flying airplane, though.
Well, all of them I've got. I got these. It was on eBay, and they had 4 plans and it was the Cobra 7, a Cardinal profile, a Magician profile, 48-inch wingspan, or 48 and a half, and the P63 Air Cobra. And I've got that Air Cobra built up here already. It flies okay. I mean, it's not a great plane. I mean, it's kind of heavy, but
What version is that Cardinal? Is that Wendy's version? Well, actually, Wendy designed the Cardinal, I believe.
Was it the kid or the Orf?
yeah, Wendy Ertnowski.
Yeah.
Yeah, 54-inch wingspan, 41 length, 528 on the wing.
Yeah.
That's the kid version?
I don't know. I just got the blueprints.
You just got the prints. Yeah, that's.
It says here on it, on this edge over here, it's got a Brodak website.
Okay, that's probably the same plans I've got. That's probably the same kid I've got.
April 5th of 02.
Yeah, that's the kit. That's powered up with a 46 at least.
Yeah, it says 35 to 46.
It says you can put a 40. It says it was designed for a 40, but a 40 doesn't truck it and pull it around.
No,
usually 46 or
I'm
better.
using a 46 for mine, and my Cardinal R flew with a 46 also.
Yeah, they fly with a 46 or better. They don't fly with a 40.
My ARF was pretty heavy too. It flew fine with a 46.
With the 46, they fly. Absolutely, the 46 they turn, they fly.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get that in there someday. I don't know. Only day I gotta get this table behind me cleared off so I can start building again.
Well, a lot of people took that ARF setup and stuff like that and did that and made them electric because they were light and they worked out pretty well too.
Our buddy Jamie Holford won first place in intermediate this weekend. He posted about it on Facebook, or either that or on the Control Line Facebook page, which I can't remember. Yeah, I guess that was it, on Control Line Flying. That's the name of that Facebook page. But he posted and had some pictures and videos, and so I was hoping maybe he'll come in here tonight and tell us about it if he's not too tired from the busy weekend of winning trophies.
Where was this contest?
It was in, I don't even remember. He's in Louisiana.
Okay.
So whatever the nearest contest to
I know Tucson had a contest this weekend again.
He said he drove 8 hours, but I don't know if that was combined to and from. I think it was probably to and from. But he flew that twister, that green and blue twister he's got.
I've got a twister over at my dad's that I've flown it one time and crashed it. That was back when I was a teenager. It's been sitting down there for, yeah, probably 18, 19 years old when I flew it. But the guy I bought it from, it was a cousin of mine on down the line. But the elevator, push rod come out of the elevator, so all I had was flaps.
Oh, how'd that handle?
Yeah. Try flying one with just flaps. That's fun.
Kind of a backwards feel to the handle, isn't it?
Yeah, it didn't but I ended up wrecking it and popping the outboard wing off and had to glue it back on, and that was 30 years ago, and never even recovered it. I've got it stripped down, but never did fly it again. But I've seen a lot of twisters fly, and they fly pretty good.
Throw some monocoat on it and see if it'll fly again.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Is that a Corsair I see behind your head?
Part of one.
Oh yeah, I think we've seen you demonstrate how that fits together before.
I have a bad memory. What can I tell you?
I don't claim to have a great one either, Ryan. So yeah.
It got tripped up in the tall grass on takeoff. And when it hit, it twisted it and snapped the body right in half. And then I dropped it, taking it out of the truck, and broke the other wing off. So
To add insult to injury.
it's going to be that was my first scratch build. And I built it while I was working at Cunningham GMC here in Springfield. And didn't have much work. They'd give all the other mechanics work, so I'd sit around and twiddle my thumb. I said, damn, I'm going to build me an airplane. So it took me a year to build it, just in, a little here and a little there. It looked good, but flew like shit. I don't, because the design was for a 15. So I took the blueprints and enlarged it to a 42-inch wingspan and put a 35 on it. And turned out to be with the 42-inch wingspan, it was a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 foot to 1 or 1 inch to 1 foot, because the length and width of the Corsair was like they got a 41-foot wingspan or something like that. But I think my lead outs were wrong because it flew like a Ritz cracker. It kept wanting to come in on me.
Yeah, rolling in on you.
Yeah. So
there could have been a bunch. Now, did you? I didn't think I noticed, but did you build the dihedral into it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, it took me
that alone could induce a lot of crazy.
It's got the vents on it, and first time I flew it, it flew like a Ritz cracker. Kept coming in on me, and then I moved the lead outs to maybe try to get the nose turned around, pointed outside more, and went to fly it, and that's when it grabbed a hold of the grass and tripped up and spun around and went to shit. But I wasn't too. I mean, it didn't glide when it run out of gas. It just fall like a rock. Of course, the real ones did the same thing. So if they weren't traveling 400 miles an hour, they couldn't fly.
Yeah, it flew on horsepower alone.
Yeah. But yeah, like I say, it took a year to build, and three flights crashed it.
And one drop.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm gonna glue it back together and just hang it up, just for looks.
For a full size plane, that must be pretty unnerving for the pilot to get. Well, I know you get used to it, but to know that nothing but horsepower is keeping you in the sky.
Yeah, same way with the F4 Phantom. I had it when I was in the Navy. Guy I knew was a photographer's mate, and his job was to go up off the carriers with the pilots and take pictures of the duty stations for ceremonial pictures for your awards and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he flew in a Phantom, and he said that's the only thing. He said that was a washing machine with a jet engine on it. He said he said that was proof that you could make a washing machine fly. He said it was all engine. That was it.
Yeah.
It was you took a couple of seats on a jet engine is all it was.
Put enough power on anything, it'll fly.
Yeah, yeah, you'll get lift off of something.
Off the propeller.
Yeah.
Kind of like a helicopter, you know. It must be the same kind of feeling to know that the only thing holding you in the air is one damn bolt.
Yeah.
One bolt through the rotor.
My dad was in the Navy too. He was on the Guadalcanal, which is a helicopter carrier, and he said he had to fly several times on them, and he said the Chinook is one of the roughest flights you'll ever fly in when they're empty.
The twin rotor?
Yeah. He said that thing will sit there and just bounce and bounce and bounce, but if you load that thing up for several thousand pounds, the wing or the blades will bow out.
Pitch up, yeah.
And it keeps the bounce out, and he said it'll fly smooth. He said, but empty, man, you'll get sick on one of those things. And they don't glide too well when they stop spinning.
No, I don't suppose they do. Yeah, and those I didn't, you know, I guess it's obvious, but I never thought about it. And one day I realized those blades are interlocking. They're almost as long as the whole helicopter, and they interlace with each other as they spin.
Yeah, well, they're
Are they at different heights?
They're offset too, but they still got they're like a gear.
Yeah.
They'll miss each other, kind of like your windshield wipers do, going up and down. But there's something.
Yeah, I'd like to. I've never seen one up close. I'd like to walk around in one. I suppose I'd like to take a ride in one too. I'd like to ride in just about any airplane. There you go. The only airplane.
I don't know if you can see. Yeah, the tail one's higher than the.
Yeah, I see front, it is.
But they still have to miss each other because when they bow out, they'll rise up. The tips will rise up.
Yeah. The only airplane I can think of right offhand that I would not accept a ride in, and I don't know if it's a two-seater anyway, is a GB. That damn thing doesn't look like it'll fly.
There's not enough area for that. It looks like it's a racing plane, so it's going to have to be going fast.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, that's a scary, stupid-looking plane.
One that I would like. One that I would love to fly in is the old Stearman biplane.
Yeah,
I'd love to go up in a biplane. I've got plans for one of them too, somewhere around here.
I've been bugging people out here. I want to go up in a fighter jet.
Yeah.
We got Nellis Air Force out here, which is a training camp, and I got other people that fly and they do all these things. I bug them all the time to try when I get the opportunity. Oh, you're there. Can you take me up? They got so many restrictions. They constantly turn me down. But I figure I keep bugging them enough, and eventually I'll get somebody to say yes one day, and I'll be able to get my joy out of it. I'd love to go up on a fighter jet.
Yeah, I've seen videos where people get up there in the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds, and they end up passing out or puking.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, definitely don't eat breakfast.
There's I looked online on the thing and I looked it up for flight. Just they have some that you could go through this training course thing and you could fly with them, but they're toned down.
Yeah.
You get the thrill experience.
Have y'all heard of Bill Engvall, the comedian? He was talking about flying with the Thunderbirds, and he asked the pilot, "Is there anything what he should and shouldn't eat that would help him from getting sick?" He said, the pilot told him eat peanut butter. He said, peanut butter. He said, yeah. He said, will that keep me from getting sick? He said, no, but it's the easiest thing to come back up.
Jackson Avley's talking about the Chinook. He says they changed the pitch and practice free fall, and they bounce 3 or 4 feet when they hit the ground, and then put a different pilot in it and do it again.
Yeah.
Auto rotation.
Yeah. The president of one of my RC clubs flew Hueys in Vietnam, and he also has been a trainer, and in a couple of training flights he's had an engine failure and had to auto rotate to the ground.
Yeah,
I like to
be a
sit
scary
and listen to him telling rescue stories.
Nobody that make your butt swell up there pretty good.
A lot of stuff that looks cool doesn't always feel quite as cool when you get to experience the real thing.
Huh? Yeah, I'll stick with something that's got some glide ratio to it.
Yeah.
At least
No,
you get a chance to bail out. It's kind of hard to jump out of a helicopter because where are you going to go? Right into the blades.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I like airplanes. I don't like helicopters.
Have you ever ridden in a helicopter?
No. Jet air, passenger jet, just commercials. All I've done flying.
Any of you guys ever flown an RC helicopter?
Those little bitty ones.
Have I tried? Yes. Successfully? No.
No.
Nope. Same answer.
The only ones I've flown is the double horse, which has the twin blades with the auto gyro and everything in it. The little electric ones, it's got like a 20-inch prop or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They fly real easy, but I hadn't got into the nitro or the 8-channel flippity floppity.
That's way too much.
Yeah,
You have to be a kid to start learning how to fly something like that. I don't think us old gray hairs could pick something up like that and learn from zero how to fly it.
yeah.
We had a helicopter pilot in our RC club that took 3rd place at the Nats last couple years. His favorite trick is to get up to about 300 feet, cut the engine, and auto rotate to a landing right in front of his feet. He is good.
Yeah, the RC planes, one thing they'll do, you can fly them upside down, where you can, because you can reverse the pitch on your props to blow down instead, blow up rather than,
You cannot do that on the full size machines, can you?
No. They will do loop.
I know an Apache will do a loop.
It'll do a loop, but they cannot sustain flight upside down.
That's just a gravity assisted loop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they'll do a roll too. I've seen them do a roll.
Yeah, you can flip them and flop them, but they can't fly. They can't sustain flight upside down.
Yeah.
No, I've seen some of these guys. We have a big helicopter event out here, And some of these people, what they do with that helicopter is amazing, how they spin that thing around. And I said, I'd love to see a guy in a real helicopter try to do that.
Yeah.
He's sick as a dog.
And it's always the young kids that are the best at it.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out. I got it up in the air, okay, hovered, got it back down, so I did good.
It's golden.
I'll call that a win. Yeah.
Yeah, went and backed it up. I said, that's enough. I tried it again one time. It went rolled over, and that was the end of that. Blades broke. I said, I had enough of this.
Little local hobby shop we have here. Well, they sold out, and the people that moved in sell drones now. But they had the RC simulator on their computer. And my 12-year-old, he'd get in there. Of course, he was probably 10 at the time. He'd get on there and has the remote. And he'd sit there and take a helicopter or a plane, whatever, and just fly it around, no problem, land it. I was like, give me that thing. So I'd take off, and I'd get out of sight. And next thing I know, it's boom, down on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I could. There's a reset button.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way I'll do them is if I can reset it, because that's too much daggum money.
I saw a video on Facebook this morning where this guy had an electric trapplane, and it looked like a backslide, but obviously it was remote control. And he took off in his living room.
Yeah,
and flew it around and flew it under the arches through several rooms and came back through one that wasn't wide enough, so he just tipped it and came on through and straightened up.
It was a Fokker triplane.
What was it?
It was a Fokker triplane.
DR1.
Yeah, the triplane. Yeah, I've seen the same video, and it's the what do they call them? 3D flights.
Yeah.
Where they do all the dancing and the spinning around and.
Yeah. And control line.
For control line, yeah, like you said, for the control line, it would be the bi-slob hanging it on a wire.
Yeah.
Just hanging there. But yeah, that dude was awesome.
No kidding.
Flying his plane inside his house.
Sounded like he might have clipped a table leg as he rolled to a stop after he landed.
But what gets me though is looking at his house. He needed to get a girlfriend or something, because I think he was over in Europe or something, because it looked like a lot of English decor, and
it was cluttery. There was a lot of stuff in that house.
There was and those green walls. That thing, I couldn't get over that.
That was a pretty freaking amazing flight, though.
Oh yeah.
This ain't no little plane. This is like a 40 size plane with, I don't know what, 50, 48, probably 48-inch wing, something like that.
It wouldn't go through the doors.
Not without tipping it.
You had to tip it up on its edge and sidewalk it through the doors.
Freaking crazy. Oh, Steve Hines just joined us. And it looks like, what have we got here? We've got Steve. We've got Steven. That's Steve Hines.
He was on a second ago and knocked himself back off.
Okay, that's his little avatar I see there next to Steven. That's how I can distinguish them. One's got an N on the end of his name and the other one doesn't.
Mine's just got a little blue man there with a crossed out mic. It says Steve on it.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it's showing there. It's a blue man with a mic.
Yeah, his mic and camera are red. Now they're white again.
There he is.
Hey, Steve, what's going on, man?
Oh, Samantha unplugged my camera. I couldn't figure out what. I kept coming back off and then trying to get back on. I'm like, well, this thing always works. But she grabbed, I don't know, I call it a patching cord. It's the cord that goes from the computer up to the printer.
That's a USB cable.
Yeah, it's a funky USB. You know, it's like USB on one side.
Yeah, it's a printer cable.
Oh, printer cable. Yeah, she grabbed one of them.
There's a bunch of different kinds of USB.
Oh, okay.
Steve, you look like you just got out of bed. Your hair does anyway.
Does it?
Yeah.
I like your comb.
Now I got him self-conscious. Oh, there you go.
Man, looks like a Unabomber.
Yeah. It's cold here.
No shit,
I don't
really?
want to hear about it.
Oh,
It's like 44 degrees.
That's plenty cold for the first day of October.
Yeah, it's about like that's about usually how it is around Halloween.
Oh, we got a question on YouTube I need to answer here. And I'll let it sit for a minute. Charles Bovalis says, "Hello, my fellow control liners. Sorry I don't participate as I have to complete some work-related stuff." So he peeks in here and there and wants to know the schedule. Charles, we start the show every Monday and every Friday night at 9:40 Eastern time. And the link is posted in the Stunthangar control line forums in the section called At the Bench. If you go to the main forum page, you know, you see the open forums, and then you see, scroll down, you see all the others. Look for one called At the Bench. It might be under the header of live streams. That's where the link to get into the video side is. Or you can go to the Stunthangar 2 words channel on YouTube, and it'll be right there on the home page. You'll see a live stream there. And that's how you can, well, you obviously know that because you're in the chat box now. But it's in the At the Bench thread on Stunthangar if you are a member of the Stunthangar control line forums. But you've got to be a member in order to see the At the Bench thread to get the link to come in with your camera. Hope that answers your question. Okay, folks, carry on.
All right, I'm late, so Steve, what's the call for?
well, okay. I'm glad you're asking that. The cal's here for on my Thunder Gazer.
Oh, okay.
On my Thunder Gazer, I had to actually touch it up again and work with this. I'm burning the 15% nitro on it.
No, and it ate up your finish.
It's eating up the finish on it. What do I do to stop that?
Go to 10%.
I
need the nitro. I need the power from it.
I'd clear it with some of that. Was that K2? Not K2R. That's that cleaner. What's that stuff Jamie's been using in the spray can? Come on, Rusty. We talked about it.
What's the stuff that who's been using?
Jamie.
Oh, I do not know. I'm hoping Jamie's going to come on because he won a contest this weekend.
Yeah, I was running this, and I'm running it with the Power Master 15%, and I was okay with it, and everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, it started to, where the Phillips side and the overflow side was, it started to yellow up on me, and then you saw it underneath it. It even started eating it up.
Yeah,
It started to take the finish off from it. So I got to find something to put that together.
Yeah. His case. And the other guy that was on with Bob Hunt Friday, too. I can't think of his name. He was using it. Oh, shit.
Class coat. Charles on YouTube says class coat.
No, it wasn't Class Coat. It's you buy it at an automotive place. It's
I checked the automotive store, and it's a two-part urethane epoxy and so forth, clear coat.
Yeah, this is a two-part urethane.
Two-part urethane.
Yeah, and you can get it. It's like, well, Jamie is saying it's like $20 now. Last time I bought it was 11 something, but
where tell me what it is for $20 because when I went, I checked with it and I asked for a urethane clear, and I got in touch with the auto places around here. The auto body places didn't carry their line. They told me they steered me to other places like Sherwin-Williams and stuff. They wanted too much money, and I looked out for it online already. It's like $100 some bucks. You got to buy it in a gallon. I don't need a gallon of it. I'm good with a quart with it, or maybe a liter of it, or something.
That Charles is right. That class coat will do the job.
Yeah, that'll. The class coat will work. This is. Oh,
I think I stopped it before.
Class coat clear or something? Was it class coat clear, or is it a urethane epoxy clear?
Yeah, class coat is the same as like the OKNB epoxy.
Okay.
Let me get my phone, and then I can kind of look things up, and I might be able to find it.
But you can buy it in small quantities?
You can buy it in one rattle can. Yeah, they make clear, according to Charles. Hey, Terry Forbes is on here. He just chimed in saying 2K clear.
2K clear?
Yeah. 2K just means two-part, I guess.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out what K meant the other night.
I need to know something of what I could do.
Yeah, it's in a rattle can.
You can buy that at a boat shop, I think. A marine supply.
Yeah, they may carry it too.
Would you get in a rattle can? It's all already pre-mixed. Just shake it and spray it.
Yeah, yeah. You You take a little. There's a little thing on the bottom, and you push it, and it opens. It punctures something in the can, and then you. My damn phone ain't gonna do nothing.
How do I find this, sir? How do I find it to buy it? That's the thing. I have no problem with mine. It's just a matter of where do I find it to buy it. I just got done now refinishing it and touching it up. I sanded it all out. Then after I sanded it out, I sanded it through, so I had to refinish it and put it together. But I haven't put any clear on it yet because I want to secure the finish.
Oh, this rotten thing.
Yep.
Hold on, I'll be able to get it here one way or the other.
U.S. Chemical 2K Glamour High Gloss Clear Coat.
That's it.
Okay,
What's this again?
You can get it through Walmart.com for $22.49 a can.
You said U.S. Chemical?
U.S. Chemical.
U.S. Chemical.
2K 2K Clear Coat.
U.S. Chemical Clear Coat.
Yeah. First thing that popped up was Walmart, so I'm sure it's Walmart.com.
U.S. Chemical Clear Coat.
I just typed in Google 2K Clear, and it popped up that. Spray Max is.
God bless you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the picture showing a. Let me bring it back up. Yeah, it's showing a some sort of button that you push on the bottom of it to activate it.
Now, if you go to Blazing Auto, Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you can see me or anything. I can't see nobody. Blazing Auto has it for $16.99.
These guys over on the tube are saying, if you go with 2-part urethane, make sure you get the one with either the 2-to-1 or the 1-to-1 mixing ratio.
This comes in a spray can.
Yeah, that's the one with the punch button thing on the bottom, right?
And it sprays out beautiful.
Yeah. That's the one you kept in the refrigerator and it lasted about a month, right?
Yep.
Oh, it's got a short shelf life after you use it?
Yeah, if you leave the can out, it's going to last a day or so.
Okay.
That's after it's activated.
Yeah, after it's activated. But if you put it in the freezer or in the refrigerator, I had it last a month. People saying they put it in the freezer and it'll last a couple months. There's enough in that can to probably do, if you're just doing fuselages, I don't know how many, 4 or 5, but you could do a couple airplanes with a single can of that.
So you used it already?
Yes.
And had good results with it?
Oh yeah, after one day you can buff it out. There we go. You can buff it out so easy. To me, I think it shines better than dope.
What about cracking? Does it get hard, or does it stay? Does it flex?
No. See, I'm trying to.
So I'm going to try it in the areas where it's affected.
To it. Yeah, this is an epoxy base, right?
When Samantha flew her shit, I can't.
Now you're not spraying the whole airplane with it, are you?
I just do the fuselage. When Samantha built her Tempest, I think that was in 2015 or 16, and we used it. That was the first time we used it, and it's still beautiful.
It mixes up okay with butyrate?
Oh yeah, it goes right over it like nothing.
Okay.
It's basically, was it smart? I can show you what else.
A nitro or an electric?
Nitro.
Nitro.
Yeah, we did the nitro, 2 of them in nitro, and then the one that went to France was an electric.
Yeah, 15% nitro I'm running. So electrical won't hurt it. The sun will hurt it more out here than battery will. Battery ain't gonna do nothing to it.
Dead air.
Yeah.
Where'd Steve go? Did he go to? I was busy typing. Did he go to get something?
I think he's looking for his daughter's plane.
Oh.
So I missed the beginning because I was messing around with something else, Stephen. That you say the fuel ate the paint off of that cowling. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it was eating the clear on. This is the cowl I got on my Thunder Gaze. You remember when I showed that?
Yeah.
Thunder Gaze out here. And the issue I'm having is where I got the fill lines and the overflow that come out. I was getting the fuel drippage to it, and it started to tarnish it and turn it yellow. But on the bottom, even where the red is here, it actually ate right through it. It ate through the clear, and started to eat up the red. It took the finish completely right off it. I could rub it right out.
Yeah.
So I started to sand it out and clear it out, but then I started to sand the whole finish off of it. I got discouraged, so I refinished it now, sanded it down, refinished it. But I haven't put any clear on it because I didn't know if there's an answer to stop the 15% from eating through it.
Yes, yeah, you had to spray inside and out, make sure everything's sealed.
Spray both
What did
inside
you
and
use
out.
for the original finish?
What's that?
What did you use for the original finish?
Oh, this is all butyrate. This is all Randolph.
Dope.
Yeah, it's all dope.
Yeah, this is the other stuff I bought. It's made by Smart. One of you guys can.
Okay. Smart. It's something called Classic.
Yeah, Smart Classic. And it's 4.2 VOC clear coat. The number of this stuff is 4142-4. And
42, what, 4241-4?
no, 4142-4. It's made by Smart. We were going to use that on Samantha's airplane, but Chris already had one of the activators open because the activator goes bad after after you're open. It's like you got to kind of know what you want once you open it to the air and whatever. But the guy said usually it'll last a few months. But I was going to do, you know, his airplane and mine, but he already opened his, so we just use his stuff. This was like 40 bucks. It's like twice. It was twice as much as one of the spray cans, but I forget how much more is in a quart than the spray can. He was telling us, but I bought it for the reason is everybody was out of that Glamour, the other stuff, that K2,
Right.
K2 Max. But yeah, once you use that K2 Max, I mean, the spray can, the valve on it, how it sprays out, it's just crazy good. It sprays better than my spray gun.
K2 Max?
It's yeah, Spray Max. It was,
yeah, Spray Max, 2K Max or whatever it is. That's the first stuff we told you about.
Yeah, the first of yeah.
Yeah, from that.
I got it here. That's like U.S. Chemical Clear Coat, 2K Clear Spray Max.
Any of the automotive supply houses in town should have that.
I'm going to be checking with them. I called the one place that had it, and they want to sell it to you by the gallon, and it was way too expensive to buy it that way.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
I mean, when I heard what the shelf life was, it didn't have a long shelf life to it, and I said, I'm not going to spend that much money for a short shelf life.
Right, but by that spray can, I mean for
$20 is no big deal.
You know, it's not that bad. It's too bad you didn't have the whole model. You could have done, but it's a little expensive just for that cowl.
It would be better
that's what's getting affected. That's why I'm going to test it and try it too. I mean, it's not affecting any other part of the airplane because it's a pipe motor. Nothing else is getting hit with it.
The other thing you could do, if you know anybody at an auto body shop, they use it every day. You know, they do it by the gallon.
I went to the auto body shop. I got an auto body shop around the corner from my work, and they said they just use straight Sherwin-Williams clear. They don't use this.
Right, Sherwin-Williams. The Sherwin-Williams 2-part is the same stuff. And when they get ready to spray a car, they could probably spray that for you for a couple bucks, maybe $5. You know, then you wouldn't have to, because they're throwing that stuff away by, they may throw away a quart a day of it.
Right.
Because once they mix it up, it's only good for that day.
You mean the Sherwin-Williams stuff that they're using? That's what they said. They said they're just using a regular Sherwin-Williams clear.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, ask them if it's a polyester clear coat, like they put on a car finish.
Right.
A 2-part clear. Yeah, because if they use it there, you could probably talk the sprayer into just spraying that thing for you and be done with it. Yeah, for a few bucks, and it's done. And if it's less than $20 or $16 plus shipping or whatever, you'd be money ahead, really.
Yeah.
Because unless you have another project coming up, to where
I
you're
do.
gonna,
Actually. Do I have another project coming up? I do. It actually came in the mail today. I finally got it in the mail. So I opened up the box and we laid the plans out and started to look at it. And that's going to be the next project coming up now.
well, how long before it's ready for clear?
Oh, wow. I only opened the box right now. I haven't started.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, you know.
What's taking so long?
You want it and sprayed
that way.
It'd be bad by the time you needed it again.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No doubt. I mean, I just, I got the Patriot.
Oh, okay.
I got to build a new classic ship. So I got the Patriot.
You
I
know,
like that.
that's like with Rusty, you know, him getting ready to do his Cardinal and everything. If he had someone else down there, 2 or 3 people that had fuselages to do, it'd be
Right.
as a get-together spray thing. Everybody come over, and you spray all 4 with 1 can, and then it costs everybody $3 or $4 to spray a fuselage instead of 20, and then you throw away 3/4.
Painting party.
Yeah, you have a clearing party or whatever.
Yeah, we can turn a club meeting into that.
I just haven't squirted at the auto body place. Sherwin-Williams, you know, they make the 2-part, just like this Glamour K2K code or whatever, K2 Max.
Right.
It's just put in a spray can. It could be Sherwin-Williams stuff that's put in that spray can, and they call it whatever.
Yeah, Charles on YouTube says don't get too worried about brand names as long as it's 2 parts, it'll do the trick.
Yeah, that's why I got that Smart Classic. The only reason I got that because it came in a quart. Otherwise, you had to buy it by the gallon, and it's just crazy expensive. And that's like Chris Rudd. He bought it by a gallon to do 1 airplane and then did Samantha's too because it ain't going to be any good.
And that's what I found out with this. The cheapest I found it was you bought it and it was the 2 parts. It came with the you got the gallon of clear and then the retardant. It came up to $90, and then I found another one was 120. I called up this other place and they want to sell it to you with a 3-part system, and they wanted way too much. They wanted over $300. I said, you can keep that.
Yeah, if you go to the body shop and if you had something probably glued to it in a certain place or whatever, and then, you know, a stick or whatever so they could pick it up and spray it for you.
Right.
So it'll dry. I think you'd be golden. Whatever they use there to spray a car with, it'll be fine.
I can make something to hold on to this because the way I made this cow, I can grab it and get something to hold it right underneath the air. And they can hit this thing any way you want. Spin it around.
That's what I do. I just make a little holder for them so that they can spray it and then set it up in a vise or set it someplace to where it'll dry for about an hour. Then it's tack free in about an hour. So yeah, it'll be.
Guys, I'm gonna have to pull a plug tonight, so I'll watch the rest tomorrow and see you Friday.
Hey, Ron, take it easy, man.
Thanks
All
for
right,
hanging out with us.
See you.
See you, Ron.
You're saying that Sherwin-Williams stuff you think is the same?
Yeah, it's all.
They said no. That's what they said it isn't. They said no, it's not. It's just clear. But
yeah, ask them if it's a 2-part clear.
Right.
If it's a 2-part polyester clear, it's the same stuff. It's just the brand name is all.
Yeah.
You got DuPont, you got Sherwin-Williams. I can't think of the one that Napa carries.
I emailed. We emailed Napa now, and we're trying to get a response back from him. See what they say.
Yeah, I can't think of that as a 2-name deal that Napa has. When I was a kid, that's what we always used to paint because Napa was close, and you know they could get it and put it in spray cans for us and stuff like that. But back in the day, it wasn't a 2-part. It was just, you know, lacquer or enamel or whatever, you know, that people were painting cars with. But Napa has their own line of stuff. But yeah.
What do you buff yours with?
Pardon me?
What do you buff it with?
Scrubbing
compound or just wax or?
Just glazing compound.
You sand it first.
Yeah, you don't even have to sand this stuff.
Oh, this?
Yeah, if you put it on right, it lays out so nice that you can just buff it out.
So you can just go right to compound and wax.
Yeah. Or you can block it out a little bit with 1500 or 2000 and then buff it right. We hand buffed Samantha's airplane all in.
I worked a lot on this airplane. I put a lot of hours into rubbing this airplane out, sanding it out and buffing it out and rubbing it and then with all grades of sandpaper from 1200 all the way to 5000 and then went all the way up to compounding and waxing it. So I got a little discouraged when I found out it started eating the paint away.
I don't blame you. Yeah, that
hours in it.
But if it's a 2-part from the body shop, if you ask them if it's 2-part polyester for cars, it's clear, it'll work on there, and then you can sand that out and buff it up like nothing.
Okay. I need something with a harder shell to it. Yeah, 2-part polyester.
Yeah. And it's water. That's one thing nice about polyester. It's water clear, like dope.
I thought they were saying it had to be like a urethane or a urethane epoxy.
Well, yeah, it's the urethane. I'm not sure if they call this a urethane.
I don't know.
I think it's a polyester urethane, but it's their 2-part.
I tell you, I love the finish of it and doing the finish of painting an airplane. But wow, too many headaches. Too much trouble. Too many headaches. We're trying to paint and finish an airplane. The monocoat an airplane get the same finish out of it, and I ain't got to worry about this.
What about the Brodak clear, crystal clear? Is that a 2-part or is it just a?
Just the same type of clear, or just more money.
That's dope. You just add thinner to it like you would any kind of dope. There's a crystal clear and there's just a clear, and I don't know what the difference is besides $1 or $2. One might have some sun protectant in it, and the other might not. The crystal clear might not. So I don't know. The crystal clear might not yellow with age.
Well, yellow. Well, it yellows out and dry, and then eventually, if you keep it right, the yellow will dry out.
Yeah, I've got an unopened can of each one, the regular and the crystal, and I don't know what the difference is. I'll probably mix them.
Oh, the other thing is
we got to answer. Charles says Brodak Crystal Clear is a butyrate dope. So is the one that they call Brodak Clear. It's butyrate also.
Yeah, that has a UV protector in it. That's why it's kind of yellowish looking.
Yeah, I wondered if that was the difference.
Yeah, crystal clear is without that. Crystal clear is more like SIG. It's water clear.
Yeah.
But Brodak clear and stuff has that UV protector in it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. It's whatever formula they order.
Has a yellow tint to it when you mix it, when you put it together and you mix it up. And then it has a yellow tint to it. And you just gotta let it really sit and let it dry itself out.
Yeah. Yep. But the UV stuff, it just helps to keep the silk and everything or the silk span and stuff from being sun rot, which is kind of a nice thing, But yeah, if you get the other stuff, the 2-part urethane or it'll work fine. Polyester, urethane, whatever they call it. But Sherwin-Williams will be fine. The stuff I have, it's made by Finish Master, and it's their own brand.
Okay.
Distributed by Finish Master. So this could be Sherwin-Williams. It could be, it just says Smart on there or whatever. I don't know
Right.
how many companies out there, you know, will have it.
I got something to look up now and try to find. I'm gonna ask them again. I'll drive by the auto place tomorrow with it, and I'll see what they say, see what they can do, or if they will. If they can do something for me, that'd be great. If not, then at least I got something. I can buy this can that you're talking about, and you puncture the bottom of it and activate it.
Yeah.
$20 ain't a bad deal.
Yeah, it's like I said, that Blazing Auto has it for 16. If you get online, you can find it. The other thing is that if you Google it up, they have a video on how to use it, and there's a bunch of different videos on there of these guys using it on cars. And I found it online, and I'm like, well, I'll go to the auto body supply house, and I went there and they had it, and I was getting it from them. But like I said, when I bought that, it was just for the reason they were out. Everybody's kind of finding out about it and buying it. It's so easy to use.
I found out the hard way with it. Now I gotta. At least I didn't have much damage to it, so that's a good thing. If it was a side exhaust airplane, I'd probably have more issues.
Yeah.
But being in fact a piped airplane, I only had it on the nose section there.
Yeah, it's just what's coming out of the Venturi, that blowback or whatever they call it.
Right. Yep, the blowback that's coming, the blowback from dripping out from the Venturi when it's coming through, and just the blowback. That's what I'm getting at. Because you can see it's a splatter spray. It's not just something that's coming over the overfill or anything there.
I got to step away for a second. I'll be right back.
All right.
Was that that motor does want to draw fuel? That K77.
It doesn't want to draw?
No, that K77 does want to draw fuel.
Oh, okay.
It does draw fuel. It runs sweet. It runs nice. But you can tell it's a fuel sucker. It sucks up fuel.
Yeah, with a pipe one on there, yeah, they will run some fuel through it.
Oh.
No
Starts up nice. The one flip starts I get out of it. Runs sweet. I got my lap time and everything figured out. I got that right, and I got that all pretty much square. Still trimming most of the plane and getting more comfortable with it. But that motor runs sweet.
Yeah, they said it runs like a PA75 or whatever. I don't know for sure.
Well, I had to go to a 5-pitch prop.
Oh, drop the pitch down.
I went to a 2-blade. I went to a 5-pitch prop. Worked out a lot better. That's how I was able to get the speed I need, the power consumption I needed, and the speed I needed to get my lap time right.
Okay, because yeah, you were using a 6-pitch, weren't you?
No, I had a 4 1/4 on it.
Oh, 4 1/4. Oh, okay.
4 1/4, 4 1/2 on it, and yeah, 13 1/4, 4 1/2. And I needed to get a little bit more out of it because I was just too sluggish on the turns, and it was not driving right, and I wasn't getting a fast enough lap time out of it. So
okay.
I went to a 2-blade 5-pitch, and now I got the lap time I wanted. And now
it doesn't get hot anymore, does it, or sag or anything?
No, it's not getting hot. The motor was getting hot before with the 13 1/4, 4 1/2. It was loading the motor up too much, and it was heating it up and getting hot on me. And then when I finally got it to where it would run comfortably, it still ran hot, even though it would turn. It just didn't have I didn't have the lap time. So now I went to a 2-bladed prop with the 5-pitch, and the motor doesn't get as hot. It cools down a lot quicker.
Yeah. I don't know what Kaz's website is. MNT something, whatever.
Yeah.
But he has props for it. He tells in there what prop to run on it and stuff. And I thought it was a 5 or a 6-pitch or whatever. You know,
I gotta look that up and find out, because this 4 1/2, I was running a 3-bladed, and that 13 1/4, 4 1/2. It was just way too much load on that motor, and it struggled. It heated up and I couldn't get it no matter what I tried to do. I wasn't getting it to be comfortable. When I put the 2-bladed prop on and went with the 5-pitch, now it ran more smoother. It was more comfortable. It had the extra power. I got the lap time I wanted with it. And now I've been adjusting with it, getting more trimmed and more comfortable with it.
Yeah. I don't know if there's people on there that know more about engines. But my Rojet 76, it was the same way. I try to run a Boley 13-inch 4.2 or whatever, and that motor just would get hot and lose all the power and stuff. And I talked to Rich Oliver, and he told me, he says that engine isn't made to run over 9,000 RPM. You got to get a prop to run it between 8,000 and 9,000. And Jeff Truxler, I don't know if he's still making the prop or not, but he makes a Boley copy, and I think it's 12 3/4 by 6.5, but it actually pitches out with a pitch gauge at 6, and that engine runs so good. It just purrs. It launches at 8,000.
You know what? I got a Rojet 76. You know, I don't have luck with these 3-bladed props. I don't know if you're running a 3-blade.
What it is that with a Rojet 76 and with this one, you can't run a 61 3-bladed prop. That's 4.2 or 4.5. You got to get up in the 5-pitch or 6-pitch. And I was talking to my brother about it the other day, because we got a Fox 76 for an RC motor. That the damn thing does the same thing. It just overheats. And I think that we're trying to push it too high in the RPM range.
Yeah.
And you push it up in the RPM range too high, and they're kind of like governed. It's like with that pipe. It ain't gonna allow it to speed up. So you try to lean it down to speed it up, and it hits a point to where it just makes heat. It doesn't make any power.
That's what I was getting. Because Randy was telling me run it at the highest RPM you could run it in a 4. I had that thing running, so I found out where it was, and I had to run at the highest RPM I could be at a 4, but I just heated it up and I lost everything with it.
Yeah, because the RPM is just too high.
Yeah, and the thing, it was just heating up, and I found out loading it up, so I backed it down, and it was better. But now I backed it down, and then it ran more comfortable. It didn't heat up as much, and I said, okay, but it ain't gonna fly this way. So then I went to the 2-bladed prop, and I was even able to open it up and back the motor even down more.
Yeah.
And it ran cooler. I have more luck with the 2-bladed prop than I do the 3-blade. So I'll use the 3-blade because it looks cool for show, for appearance. But that's it. It don't work for flying.
I was told with the 3-blade props to whatever you're running in a double blade, if you're running, say, a 10-6 prop, you drop an inch in diameter and up one in pitch. So you would run a 9.7 or something like that. I don't know if that's because you're turning more weight, so you got to decrease the diameter and increase the pitch. But I don't know. I hadn't used them, so I don't know.
On that 77, I'm running right now a 13-inch prop with a 5-pitch, 13.5. It's running smooth. It likes it. It's comfortable, and it's really driving the plane right through. Nice. Now I have a Rojet 76, and I tried a 13-inch prop 3-blade with it. Screamed like mad, and it wasn't comfortable. I just didn't like the idea. You know what I found I liked on it is a 14.4.
Oh, no kidding.
I got a Zor prop 14.4. It runs real comfortable and pulls that plane. And I'm running it at about 8,000 RPMs, 79, 8,000 RPM.
Yep, that's where that you got to get the right prop to run it in the right RPM range. I mean,
now I'm running at just about 8,000 RPM. So on a cooler, better day, I can run at 78, but I'm running between 78 and 8,000 RPMs. I run it with a Zor wooden 2-blade wooden prop 14.4.
Yep.
It likes it.
Yeah, see, I didn't have the ground clearance on that SV11 for Samantha. So we got that. We tried that prop from Jeff. Maybe it's a 12.5 6. That's where they knocked it down and went one up. And
Yeah.
that damn thing will pull through any. I mean, it pulls so good and everything. But it was a sweet prop. And then he had him there into the Detroit contest. And I let Gary Lutz, which you probably know, he's from Maryland over there by you guys when you were in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Gary Lutz, we stuck it on his Rojet 76. And I mean not 76, 67. Is that the other one? Or, yeah, I think it's the 67.
The 67 and 76 are very, very close, very similar.
Right. We put that on his with a header muffler, and it made that engine come alive. I mean, he just loves it. He bought 2 or 3 of them props from Jeff, and he's running it. I think he's running it on his 76 now, like I do, and on the 67s. That he absolutely loves it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, if you get on Facebook, I don't know if you're on Facebook, if you can get a hold of Jeff Truxler, you can ask him about that. I think it's a 12.5, 6.5. But when it comes out of the mold and stuff, it's only a 6-pitch, but it works fantastic for a 3-blade, and it gives you the ground clearance because we fly off of grass all the time.
Right.
And there's just was no way we could use a 14-inch prop.
I mean, the only thing I found the 3-bladed did do was it kind of felt a little bit more smoother when it flew through. It just certain things felt a little bit more smoother the way it tracked, and that way, as opposed to with the 2-blade, it's a little more aggressive. But I don't have a 3-blade 5-pitch prop, and I wasn't gonna keep buying $50 props to find the pitch.
Yeah.
So I went to 2-bladed props because I had a whole bunch of them, and I found the pitch that it works with. It likes that 5-pitch.
Yeah, we got some ones from Turnigy that work really well, except they're so fine on the wood that it keeps cracking the tip when you start it. That I was using a starter because them damn 76s and stuff like that, when you flip it, it hits, and you got to bring it through or even back flipping, and it would start cracking the tips of the prop. They're just way too thin.
That sounds dangerous.
They got
props.
They got a mean kickback to them also.
Oh yeah, really bad.
They got a mean kickback to them.
Well, I told everybody that I was back. I fueled up Samantha's airplane there in Texas, and it was, I don't know, it was a 90-some degree day. And I didn't have the glow driver or nothing on it. I backflipped that airplane, and the thing started without a glow driver on it.
Yeah, I had that happen on my 67. And it scared the daylight out of me with that.
Yeah.
I flew,
Yeah,
I mean, I
come up on compression so
line.
hard.
I brought it back on the flight line, fueled it up, got it together, started priming, flipping it. Good thing I was holding onto the nose. Well, good, strong enough. And I just gave it one flip, and boom, she started right up. And I had no glow driver on it. So, and everybody's looking like, why didn't you wait for me? Why didn't you wait so I could hold it? I said, wait a minute, I got no glow driver. I wasn't ready for this. I picked it up and turned it down and shut it off.
That dieseled on you, didn't it?
Yeah. Samantha started backwards. When I backflipped it, actually started backwards. And I had to tip it down to shut it off. It wasn't running in the right direction.
It's usually flooded when that happens.
Yeah.
Listen, is that Turnigy prop made for IC?
It says so, but I sent a couple of them to Sparky, and he said that it's an electric prop.
That's what I would have thought.
I can do a show and tell once. Hold on a second.
Well, maybe we'll have a new video visitor if Charles Bovalis comes back. I guess I'm saying his name right. Bovalis next week and gets his camera working. he seems like he's got a lot to say. I couldn't keep up almost on YouTube. He was typing and stuff, and I couldn't insert it in the conversation fast enough to keep up with him for a while there. Maybe it's Bovalis. That's three guesses: Bovalis, Bovalis, or Bovalis. We'll see. We'll ask him. I hate mispronouncing people's last names. Your last name, Eddie, is Suter or Sutter?
Suter.
Suter.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the bad.
He's a Suter.
Was he on Star Trek Voyager? There was a Bajoran guy named Suter, and he was a murderer.
I wasn't a Trekkie, so I don't know.
He was a murderer, a telepathic murderer.
Yeah, this is.
What you got, Steve?
That's a nice looking prop. Let me click on it.
That's that Turnigy prop.
So okay, it's a wooden three-blade.
Yeah, and it's made in 3 pieces, and then it's got they cut a groove. I don't know if you can see that groove. They put a piece of aluminum in it, and it's pinned.
They put a metal biscuit in it, didn't they?
Pardon me?
They put a metal biscuit.
Yep, in there. And
So those holes are on the front of it for?
Yeah, there's little dots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's pinned.
Okay.
And this thing, I mean, it works really good on there. And this one I always use with a starter because anytime you flipped it, it kicked back and it would, I don't know if you can see how thin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh,
yeah,
boy, that's a finger
really
cutter.
Out of the edge on the tip.
But talk about a prop that pulls and stuff like that. I mean, that prop really works good.
Well, you wouldn't want to get your finger in there.
That's a Trinity, right?
Yeah.
They make a lot of electric stuff, but that's a nice looking prop. How much does one like that cost?
$6.
How many?
$6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 6 something it was. They make it in
a wood motor. You put that on the Rojet?
Yeah, that's what I ran on that Rojet 76, but you got to be so careful with it. This is a 12.6. They make a 12.6, a 12.5, and a 14.5 and a 14.6. Nothing in 13. So I took a 14 and I cut it down.
Yeah.
And that actually got me into thicker wood. But
yeah,
this that prop works really well. I'm going to try it on an electric. Jeff, I gave him one. He was going to try to copy this in carbon fiber, because in carbon fiber that thin is fine. But I don't know if he ever.
Probably carbon fiber. I just wasn't gonna, like I said, I wasn't gonna keep buying carbon fiber props till I found the right pitch, and have a whole bunch of them I'm not ever gonna use.
But yeah, that Boley that he copied, the Boley 12.5, 6.5. That thing, it works really good on a Rojet. It probably worked really good on that K77 also that Jeff makes. But I don't know if he's making any props or anything. He moved to his dad's house, and I tried to get some landing gear, but he doesn't have his molds. They're locked in at his old house. His girlfriend, I don't know, put a different lock on the doors and stuff like this and won't let him have them. So I have no idea what's going on there. So he may have to make up new molds, but he had all these different prop molds. And like Ed was saying, he made like a 9.7 or something like that, 3-blade or whatever, that I guess worked really good for a 40 size and stuff. But I don't think he has that mold either. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to sell anymore or not because he was kind of afraid he was going to get sued. You know, if somebody cut their fingers off or whatever with one of his propellers or whatever, they'd come back and sue him, you know, for.
Put warnings all over everything.
Pilot ever?
Yeah, well, you know, they can sue you for anything.
Just talk to Mike Lunke about that.
Yeah, why'd he get sued over something?
No, but he about cut his finger off on one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Sometimes
Jeff kind of.
it can happen, you know. If you don't want to play the game.
When did Mike get a prop strike?
Was that at Brodak?
At Brodak.
Oh,
When him and Sammy went up there, he got the, I think it was 11 lacerations and 13 stitches or something like that in his finger.
is that this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about
You got him, your friend with him on Facebook, aren't you? He's got it posted on Facebook.
Yeah, but I don't hardly ever look at Facebook.
So, then Al Ferrara, he got his hand caught on the prop this year too.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, I got mine back when I was a kid. I was probably 10 years old, and I had a little Cox 049 eating my ass up.
Yeah, I had a lot of, a lot of cuts when I was a kid like that, little fine cuts. And I did it when Samantha first started flying. I had the spring on there, and I was,
yeah.
And I went and I had I kept priming it, and I got some damn fuel on my finger, and I went to crank it, and that thing slipped, and I wasn't ready to pull my hand out.
Burp.
Said, and it's like these little paper cuts.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever got. I don't think anybody's ever got hit one time by a prop. It's multiple times.
Yep.
I'm trying to find a picture of mine, but I can't find it.
A lot of times.
Yeah, Samantha was crying in the middle of the circle. Dad, you're bleeding. You're bleeding. I'm like, fly this thing, I finally got it running. When she flew it out and landed it, I was just holding my thumb on my finger to stop it from bleeding. It was burning like hell, and from all the fuel. And she was like, "You got blood all over my airplane." Because it was bleeding. I'd set the needle, and it was just blowing that blood all over her airplane.
Here, let's see. I got a picture to show you. This, are y'all familiar with MP Jet engines?
MP Jet.
Yeah, they're Czechoslovakian. This was an 061. And this is what it did to me.
Yeah, that's the way my finger looked, but not quite as many little.
Yeah.
You got one bad cut though, but mine looked like the closer to your nail.
Yeah.
They put in about 5 or 6 little damn paper cuts on there. Blood like hell, but anyone run 049 has got the little paper cuts off them little.
Those black speckles are actually Rust-Oleum.
Pardon me?
If you ran an 049, you definitely got hit by a prop. That's the only thing on that back.
The black speckles on me were Rust-Oleum black paint, by the way. But if I'd known how fast the engine was turning, I could calculate how many times that prop hit. Well, I mean, I could. Let's see what I could calculate how long my finger was in the prop by counting the laceration.
Probably a few hundredths of a second.
Yeah.
But that was a Master Air Screw 6.3.
Whoa.
I had one time. That's how I learned to tuck my shirt in when somebody said, "Can you pick the plane up and hold the airplane up high and start it?" I had a loose shirt on. Started that plane up and sucked that shirt in. I tried to grab it and I clicked. Ouch. Here comes Wendy. He says, "I know how to fix it. Let's CA it back together." I said, "Yeah, I ain't doing that." But I've bandaged it up, made it up. Oh, it's throbbed like crazy.
Yeah, I always CA my cuts. when I'm out. My brother got whacked really bad, you know, and it went down to the bone. And the old guy there was like, "Oh, we can fix that." He's like, "Push that together, you know, hold that together." He took thin CA and went. Choo. My brother was like, "Ah!" It was smoking.
Hit it with the kicker yet.
Yeah, it was like that blood was like a kicker.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah.
And it smoked, and he's like, "Ah!" But it quit bleeding, and we flew the rest of the day. He's like, "I don't want to take you to the hospital and mess up our Saturday of flying. That's a beautiful day." So we flew the rest of the day. He never went
to
to
the hospital could do to you at that point, because any pathogens that you didn't clean out of it before you glued it were stuck under there permanently. It's not like they'd carve all that stuff off and start with fresh meat. So they probably send you home and tell you to soak it or something.
Well, if it bled good, it'd bleed out the.
That's right. It carries some of that away. So
it carries some of that away, but because they make you can buy super glue for wounds now.
that's what it was originally engineered for, I think.
Well, that's like if you buy Smith's Flex CA.
Yeah.
All that is medical CA that you don't pay like 10 times the amount for. That's got to go through testing.
Oh, that's the grade Flex is what's written on the bottle.
Yeah,
Flex,
it says Flex CA.
I'll look for that. I've never seen it.
I talked to him at Toledo, because they always got, you know, Bob Smith always got all of his stuff there. And I asked him about it, and he goes, "I can't tell you you can use it on cuts because this isn't medical grade." I said, "What's the difference?" He says, "The difference is when we open up a drum of it or whatever, we do testing, and it has to meet a standard before they can bottle it up and sell it to doctors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it has to go through all kinds of tests." But he said it may come out of the same drum at the end or whatever, who knows? But it doesn't have that testing on it.
Yeah.
Could be
You know, Bob Smith, super glue, so to speak, super glue was the original generic super glue back when it first hit the market. And
I think it was the original was Hot Stuff.
Original was Hot Stuff.
Yeah, Hot Stuff was the original.
I think I read it on Bob Smith's site. So you actually
how many times did you glue your fingers together with that stuff?
Oh, that Hot Stuff will glue your fingers together faster than anything.
Oh, that stuff, that glued your fingers together. That stuff was hot too. It glued your fingers together quick.
I don't need any of that.
My brother glued my eyelid shut.
Just one of them.
Yeah, he had a pin and that thing was clog. You know how they always clog up? And he was trying to clean. He says, "This damn thing," and he squeezed hard and went. And I seen this thing, a little thing fly out, and I blinked, and it hit my eye, and it ran across it, and glued my eyelid shut. And we finally, you know, sat there and messed with it, but I had no eyelashes on my left eye. They were all gone.
Tear the skin up, getting it open.
Yeah, it glued everything together, and it's like we finally got my eye opened up. But if I wouldn't have blinked and a drop of that would hit your eyeball, it would blind you.
Either that or it would kick so fast that it would be hard before it ever heated up and maybe not hurt you at all. I don't know. That's what happens when it goes in your mouth.
Yeah, they said, you know, you're always supposed to wear glasses with it because a drop of that in your eye will permanently blind you.
Yeah, I guess it eats up the.
I know when you put that stuff on, though, when you're gluing your airplane together, you just go a little bit too much, that stuff starts smoking up like it's burning.
Yeah, that's why they called it Hot Stuff at the time.
Yeah, and stuff smoked up big time.
But I've never tried that flex glue. I was always going to try it. You know, they said you can glue it to hardwood and everything like that, and it'll take the shock or whatever.
Hey, Steve, I got another question for you. Wait, speaking of, now we're talking about CA. What type of CA you using when you're building?
Bob Smith.
Bob Smith? Is it a thin CA or medium CA?
I got all of it. I got thin, medium, and thick.
I use thin and medium.
Thick actually works fairly good for gluing gaps. If you got
Hinkle makes good CA too.
You really shouldn't need any of it. I'm finding I still got a bottle or part of a bottle of the thick, but you shouldn't really use thick for anything like that, just for the reason
I can't think of anything on
you
an
need better
airplane.
wood fit than that.
What are you using in gap filling? When you glue it together into filter, when you're gonna glue them together, don't fill it, you want to fill in the gap. You using a medium or a thick?
If I have to, I'll use that. A little bit of baking powder or baking soda, is it?
Yeah, I do baking soda too.
Yeah, a little bit of baking soda and
or sawdust.
Yeah, or sawdust. Put it in there. Put a little bit of thin in it to fill the gap. But I haven't lately. If I get a gap, I'll get another piece of wood and sand it to where I don't get a gap.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually do it with shims too.
Now I'm
using that what's it? Build It Right, CA. That Build Right CA.
Yeah.
But is this Bob Smith? Is it lighter?
No, there ain't no difference in it.
There's no difference in the weight of it, or how it applies.
A buddy of mine, all he uses is Hobby King's CA glue. Comes in a huge bottle for the same price. You get like 3 times as much glue for the same price as any of this other stuff.
Yeah.
And it works good. And I was talking to a guy from North Dakota, and he was a carrier guy, and he had a hobby shop and stuff.
Because I was thinking if you used a medium, that's what I was asking. If you used a medium CA or something, would you end up using less?
I just use medium a little bit for time. What kind you got there, Rusty?
This is Loctite. This is my favorite Loctite brand, and it's sort of a medium. I think it's probably 5 second or so, and they make it doesn't have a time on it like most of them do, but they make another one in a little blue bottle that says 5 seconds. This is my go-to CA if I can't get Bob Smith, and they don't make a thin CA in this type brand, but this container, although
Bob Smith has a website or something that you can order from.
If you get it from Brodak,
yeah, that's Bob Smith that they sell.
Bob Smith puts hobby shop names on anything that they sell to a hobby shop.
Okay.
Yeah, they make labels, custom labels.
Yep.
But this one, although it looks like a dog's chewed it up, it's another reason that I want disclosed. Usually this cap, it's got a pin on the top of it. It'll last the whole bottle.
Oh, that's like
let me go get what I'm using, and I'll show you what I have.
But this is made, Loctite's made by Hinkle.
Hinkle?
Yeah.
I can't think of that other CA. Mercury. I think it's Mercury CA. That has a pin in it too, but that stuff's expensive as crap.
Yeah. You can't see the pin. I never knew it was in there until I
wonder what happened to Ed.
Say what?
Ed, his name's up there, but you don't see a picture or nothing anymore. He must have.
Oh, I don't know. It finally came off, but I usually glue a little cardboard base on the bottom of my glue bottles to keep them from tipping over.
Oh, that's a damn good idea.
I try to find, and I bought some new good Bob Smith glue the other day, and I just made a piece of 16th tongue depressor plywood and glued that on the bottle of the new glue. and because I hate it when they fall over. And if you you know, with those long Teflon tips you put on them, you don't have to cap those off, but then you don't want it to fall over while you walk away from it either, and have it run out if the bottle's nearly full. So that keeps that from happening.
But that guy in what do you got there, Steve?
Hey, here's what I'm using. It's the Thin CA Build It from Tower Hobbies.
That's just as good too.
Yeah, this one from Tower Hobbies. But I've been using a Thin CA. I was wondering, is this going to... I haven't had a problem with it. It works good. It runs like crazy. But I was wondering, that's why should I use a medium for filling it so it wouldn't run as much?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I would for gap filling. I would use medium.
A medium.
And baking soda. Take a toothpick or whatever and push baking soda as much as you can pack down in there, and hit it first with. I'd hit it first with thin, and after it kicks off and secures that baking soda, then kind of make your fill it and smooth it out with the medium.
Right.
You want to layer it in anyway, like that.
Well, another thing is that if you watch Wendy videos, whenever he used CA, he'd automatically go over it with sandpaper, so the dust would fill anything.
I mean, yeah, I saw the videos from that. Like, we picked up on that a lot. So we've been doing that a lot at the shop, where you put the CA on it, and as soon as you put it on, you sand it. Use the sawdust to fill it. That's a good trick. We've been doing that a lot. That works nice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this guy from North Dakota had that hobby shop. He always said that he sold SIG. And the reason why he sold SIG is that they sold so much of it that it was always fresh. And he told me, he goes, there ain't a shit bit of difference in CA glues. It's just how fresh they are, how much the company sells of them, or the hobby shop sells of them. You know,
you refrigerate them then, right? I keep them in the refrigerator. So
and it's like I said, that friend of mine who he builds tons, he's using the stuff from Hobby King, and it comes in just a generic bottle, and you have to write on it what it is, if it's thin or thick or whatever, because there's no sticker on it, whatever. But you get like a 3-ounce bottle for $4 or something. It's crazy cheap. Good. Yeah, it's just crazy cheap. And he says it works as good as any of the other. But before that, he said that he was using the stuff from Tower. For the reason is it's wholesale and they turn over a lot of it. And the glue is nice and fresh. And then
it's fresh, and you get quite a big quantity of this stuff for not that much. It don't cost that much. You can get quite. I buy about 6 bottles at a time.
Right, and he sticks all of his in the freezer. He says that even makes it. You know, if he buys glue and he's not going to open it and use it right away, once he opens it, he puts it in the fridge to keep it. But otherwise, if he orders it and the top ain't open, he puts it in the freezer. And he said it'll last in the freezer for 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
If you freeze it until you cut, you know, but once air gets to it, you know, then he puts it in the refrigerator. Keeps it in the fridge. But yeah, I found that works. I got the bottom shelf on my fridge, I got a little thing there where I can set my glue.
I go on a little dormitory type refrigerators or college refrigerators. I got that in the garage.
That's what I've got, and that's where I keep my glue too.
I keep it in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my son finished college, and I inherited a refrigerator.
Oh, that's a really good idea. I just always, you know, put it in my fridge, and then I got a little block in there that I keep it tight, because you shut the damn door and the glue falls, like you said, then it turns on its side, and then the tip plugs up, and but yeah, Dick said that stuff from Hobby King works just as good as any other stuff.
Hey, Steve, Minnesota Mike's asking you about the guy you were talking about. Let me back up and see what he asked. The guy from North Dakota, was that Paul's Models?
Yes, exactly. I don't know if he's still around, if he's still alive, but I lost his number. But yeah, that's where I got some SIG glue from him, but then I was going to order more, and he was using Bob Smith because he said he got a batch of bad glue from SIG that they weren't selling it fast enough. And he was getting some stuff that was, you know, old and wouldn't last. People were complaining. So he went to Bob Smith, and that's how I got using Bob Smith glue. But yeah, as Minnesota Mike, does he know if he's still alive and if he's still flying carrier and stuff?
Mike says, yeah, but he's closed up the shop.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, I knew him through back in the RC days because he carried Wabra, and for yeah, he would get he was the only place in the United States to get parts once
once you busted through a rod or something.
Horizon quit carrying Wabra,
and
he could get them through Canada somehow. Get his parts through Canada.
Wabra, that's kind of a cool name.
Yeah, they used to fly him in control line and everything back in the day.
I've seen the RC guys with Webras.
Yeah, they were. I like the motors, their later ones, but they were kind of like HP and HB or whatever. They always had strap-on mufflers, and I hated strap-on mufflers.
Sucks because you can distort the crankcase with those things.
Yeah, and they were real late into coming into bolt-on stuff.
I don't like strap on anything.
We ain't gonna go there, Ron. I don't want to know about this yet.
This is a family room show. Of course, your mind's got to be in the gutter to get that one anyway. So it didn't get there from watching.
We won't ask Ron about that. Red, I mean, Ron. But yeah, we want to ask Ed about his experiences with that stuff. But yeah, I guess CA is CA, you know, and I'm going to try some of that stuff from Hobby King just because Dick,
for that price is worth trying.
Yeah, Dick says it's great. I mean, the last time I went over there, he's like, you want a bottle? He had like 4 or 5 bottles in his freezer. And he says, he goes, this stuff works as good as any. It lasts as long.
I always thought CA was CA.
Pardon me?
I always thought CA was CA pretty much. I just didn't know.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it is. It's just a matter of how fresh.
Yeah, it's like that guy in North Dakota said, it's just how fresh it is.
So, Steve, you actually have met Bob Smith himself, huh?
His brother.
Oh.
Yes. He's
Bob's still around?
Yeah, I guess he is. I have a RC airplane that Bob Smith made from the 70s. And he vacuum bagged a foam wing, and there's no balsa on it. I'll go down. I'm going to build the airplane one day. I'll see. I can't show you this wing. It's really cool how he did it. And it was patent pending. And I'm like, well, the patent's got to be off now. How do you do that do it for control line? And he says, Bob won't tell anybody.
Mike says Kegel is his last name. Kegal.
Hagel? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys have local hobby shops close by, or do y'all have to order your stuff online?
Hobby shops don't exist anymore.
Columbia's got, and it just moved about 30 miles farther away, a Hobby Town USA, and you're familiar with that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, we've got just the craft shops, which ain't worth a shit. You can't even get thin CA at Michael's.
No.
But
we got craft shops. We got a Hobby Lobby out here. We got Michael's on stuff.
halfway
You might be able to get some
between where I live and the Huntersville field in Rock Hill is a place called Hobby Stop, and it is a full-blown large hobby shop from floor to ceiling and wall to wall. Airplane control line, RC, cars, everything. There's always somebody working on cars up front, so I know that's probably the biggest seller they've got. But they've got everything, and the owner knows what all of it's for and has opinions on which and why, so this is a real hobby shop, and it's pretty amazing. but we always stop there on the way to the club meetings going to Huntersville because it's about a hour from where I live. And
that's about me right now. Smyrna's the closest one is
we got
a true hobby shop. It's about right at an hour drive for me.
Smyrna, Tennessee.
we got a Hobbytown USA out here, but it ain't worth a dime when you walk in that place.
You can get balsa and you can get thin CA, you can get wheel collars and bolts and that kind of shit. Glow igniters you can get. Some fuel you can get, but they never have carried stunt fuel.
They didn't carry anything. Anytime I went in there, they said you got to pay for it in advance, and then we'll call you when it finally comes in. That's what I said. I forget I can mail my stuff a lot quicker.
Yeah, I don't know how he did this, but here's this wing. There's a piece of foam with epoxy on it. It's got a hollow leading edge. It's got hollow tips.
Vacuum bagged. How long ago?
Bagged, and then it's got a balsa trailing edge for your hinges. But the flaps you got to make out of balsa. He didn't do that. And then here's the stab, and that's done the same way. It's got hollow tips, hollow leading edge, and it's just right on the foam. But I could understand how he vacuum bagged that part of it. But how he did the tips, I have no idea what he put in there.
What they're made out of? I mean, are they wood or
the tips?
Fiberglass or what?
Yes, it's one. This is one piece fiberglass over this whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. Back in the pattern days, we do it with balsa wood, and then you'd lay up half-ounce cloth and epoxy it all on and sand it out and paint it. And that's all you do is just scuff it down and paint it. I mean, it's beautiful, but he wouldn't, because I wanted to do this in.
How do you mount your bell crank and your control horn?
This is an RC kit.
Oh, okay.
That's why I wanted to find out how he did it to try to duplicate this in control line.
You'd have to make a solid wing with a air pocket in the middle.
Yep. But yeah, it's really neat how he did it. But I figured that if you did it like this and then did it without the tips, then I think you could core it after you were done. And then, then you could put all your stuff in it. But because it would, you could put your thing back on it. They drill a hole through there and then Bob hot wires it out. But I'm thinking if you could make the deal, the other thing I was thinking is that you could probably melt all the foam out of it and just have the fiberglass.
Nothing but
because some of them are doing it in carbon fiber, but I don't know what process he used, but I got the fuselage ready to paint, and that is so accurate that it hardly takes. I took some 600 grit wet dry sandpaper, sanded it. There isn't a blemish in it, and it's ready for paint. And it's like I just don't know how he made something like that without any little divots or dry spots where the epoxy. You get little pockets. You see them on carbon fiber props and stuff like that when they vacuum bag. And I don't know how he did it, but man, that thing really came out nice. So but yeah, he won't tell anybody how he done it.
Light, I imagine.
But yeah, this airplane design won the Nats and everything else. I think it took like the first top 3. But that was kind of a thing, him to lighten everything up. That was before pipe motors and stuff like that. And they were flying Super Tiger 60s in them and stuff. The small case, we fly in control line. And
that's That's no. You just brought up something there. One of the questions I was going to ask tonight. I forgot all about it until you just started talking about the RCs. I've got blueprints for a, what is it? I can't remember the call numbers, but it's the twin Mustang.
Oh, no kidding.
And it's the oh shit, I can't remember what it is, but it's the twin Mustang. But it was the plans are RC plans, but I wasn't, I was gonna make it control line.
Yeah.
And I've the wingspan was 78 inches, and I reduced everything 20% and made it 61-inch wingspan. And it originally called for 240s. I was going to put 235s on it or 229s, depending on how much it weighed.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is I don't have to, it's not going to be near as heavy as an RC because it's not going to have all the servos, the batteries, the extra added plywood in it for the servos and stuff. But would you have to build it exactly the way a RC plane is?
No.
I mean, because it's got, I mean, I know it's got the wing, the twin Mustang has a dihedral in it, but I was going to make just a straight wing.
Yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't work.
Just for stunt purposes, I don't think the dihedral does stunts too well.
No, it's not symmetrical for upright and inverted.
Right, the inverted flight's what screws it up.
You don't intentionally build a warp.
Do what?
Yeah, you don't intentionally build
a warp. You don't build a plane intentionally.
Good point.
But yeah, and also it had, the with the being an RC and twin fuselage, it's got twin offsets on the motor mounts. One's got a inboard, and one's got like the left side's got a left offset, and the right side's got a right offset. So they're pulling against each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know with a twin. I've never even attempted a twin body airship before. But would you have a zero offset?
I think you'd probably go 0-0, but that's where it'd be nice if you could find Enya 29. They used to make them in a right hand and a left hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you could add counter rotating on it. I know Fox did that for a while. You could get the Fox 29 that way also, with a left and a right. They'd make them for twin RC airplanes. That would need it. The offset of the motor, you wouldn't have to have as much.
And I was looking at the wing and the fuselage and everything, and there's a lot of extra added stuff in there because of the RC plane and the I guess the movements and everything that it's going to be doing as a RC plane would need the extra support, especially with a large 78-inch wingspan.
I think I'd build it just like you would a regular control line airplane.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking I could do, and just have the motors at a 0 degree, and just use use a little rudder and my lead outs to get my.
Now that has twin fuselages, right? The twin Mustang.
Yeah, it's just a P-51 Mustang with it's basically two P-51 Mustang bodies on a single wing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the only other thing you'd have to do is probably carry the control line to the outside fuselage, and that's where you'd hook your bell crank up. I think that's that gobble swans or whatever they call that, because that's a twin boom.
That's right.
I think he ran that all the way out to the outside boom, and then
That's right. We did.
Put it on the outside fuselage.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what that does to the inside for the hinging part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that would help. That would help that problem. Actually, well, wait a minute. No, that is counterintuitive considering that problem.
Is it going to the outside?
Yep.
Yeah, so you'd have to, kind of look at one of them old twin boom airplanes and figure out how they solve that problem to where the bell crank's at, because it can't be in the center of the wing.
Well, it could. You just have an exposed rod.
Yeah, you could do that.
But I don't want an exposed rod. I want it.
Right.
I want it hidden.
No, I'm mistaken. Let me think. No, that's probably not what you would want to do if you're thinking about that roll induced into the outboard wing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that Gobble Swanson, the one he has or whatever, they ended up being on the outside. The first one was in the close up, and then the next one was in the outside or something, because it did something with it. But yeah, if you could get when Tom gets on here, I haven't seen him in a few weeks. You could ask him how they set that up on that airplane. Trying to think, does RSM make that model still?
The only model I've seen right now with is a twin Mustang is half A.
Oh, okay.
And it's a profile.
Yeah, so yeah, there'd be some engineering on that. If Bob gets on Friday, you might ask him. He'd know how all them old airplanes were put together and what you would do to where you'd put your bell crank.
Yeah, I was thinking about too, because the way you got your two fuselage, well, the wing is straight in the front, but then it's swept kind of like a Stuka.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the flaps were out on the tips of the wings. So I was trying to figure out some way to incorporate that, or just go with a center flap in between the fuselages.
That's how that one plane of Tom's has that center flap in it also.
Yeah, that's something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the way the original plane is. The original plane had the ailerons on the outside wings, but nothing in the center. But sometimes you got to improvise, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't think just the elevator alone will be able to
turn it like you want.
Get the stunt patterns that I'd like to try. Now, it may not stunt worth a shit. I don't know, but I'd like to try it.
Eric from RSM. I think Tom talked to him about that airplane, and I can't. The guy made 3 different ones, and I can't think what that one Tom has, but he worked that out, and I'm not sure if his has the center flap, but it seems like it does.
Yeah, you're talking about the
in between the booms.
Yeah, but the guy that painted everything with the watercolor.
Yeah,
it's got a center flap.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be kind of how you'd have to get a plan for that, and kind of make that work then on that Mustang.
Yeah.
And then
even if I don't know if I'll ever get around to building it or not. I'd be so old by the time I get ready to build it that I don't know if I'd be able to fly it.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of is that There was that one guy on Stunthangar that was making an electronic bell crank, and that works servos. And then you could stick a servo, in the fuselage or whatever, and have one for the flaps, and everything would work then. But
Yeah, it's against the rules for competing.
You can't have electronic servo. I mean,
It's all got to be connected mechanically.
Well, it is. You're still connected mechanically to that bell crank.
Yeah, but it's got to be, all surfaces, I think, have to be mechanically activated.
Oh.
No,
I mean through a slaved system, like wires and tubes and whatever.
Well, they changed that rule because in scale, you're allowed to do that now, and you can run 2.4.
I don't know about scale. Yeah, that's I'm sure, but this is for PA.
Everything had to be ran through the cables. Everything had to be ran through wires. That's why you had the three-wire system, and then some people got involved with sending electronic signals through the wiring and did things that way. But
yeah,
now they came up with it that you're allowed to actually send 2.4. You're allowed to use 2.4.
Yeah. Well, I was just quoting PA rules. I don't know about, I'm sure you're probably right about scale and maybe carrier too. I don't know.
Well, for me, it wouldn't matter because I don't know the situation.
Right. You wouldn't have to fly it in a contest if you just wanted it and fly it,
Yeah, right.
I don't see if someone's going to carry an electronic bus and try to operate that while they're flying stunt van.
Man, with my luck, batteries would die on the damn thing.
Yeah.
They tried other ways of doing it too, actually hooking up infrared through the handles and doing it through infrared and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tried other different experiments, but still quite complicated.
Yeah, I always thought it'd be nice if they let you put a kill feature in there somehow. And if you're flying, you got a lean run or something like that, that you could kill the motors and land it. It's either on or off, and it really ain't no electronic throttle. It'd be just some kind of an electronic kill feature to cut the fuel.
Well, you could if it was the old spark ignition.
You can do that in Stunt now in PA. You can have an electronic kill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that puts you back on even ground with the electric guys who have a timer to shut it off after the pattern rather than a overrun. So yeah, you are allowed to prevent overrun.
I know with glow you can have an electronic kill that's on a timer, but you can't have a switch.
Oh, like a key fob, really?
Right. Yeah. So the damn thing is running away, or you're getting dizzy or having a heart attack out there, you could hit the button and
yeah.
It makes it sound great.
Yeah, be sure and grease it in before you keel over.
Yeah. Well, that was like Tom Morris there when he's having his heart attack. He didn't quit. He kept signaling people. They finally, got the airplane, the handle from him and stuff like that, so he didn't crash his airplane. He wasn't really worried about dying so much of a heart attack, I guess.
Yeah, he said, I think he said, looking back on that, he would have probably done it differently if he had to do over again.
I was like, damn it, if I don't die, I don't want to crash the airplane too. But, well, guys, I think I'm going to get off. It's 12:30 here, and I got to work.
It's time. I need to get off.
Yeah, I appreciate all the information. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. I try that body shop. It's a 2-part. Whatever they have there will work just fine.
I'll bring it back over there again tomorrow when I'll drive by there. They're right around the corner from my office, so I can have them tell them here, hit it a couple times, and even if I have to leave it with them or something, and I'll pick it up the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, you can even be there and you could spray it and then you could just hold it for an hour.
Yeah.
and it's
No.
good to go. But
I don't have that available time. I got to
Yeah.
leave my truck and be on the road and going to visit customers and go and do my work. So maybe I would, leave it there and say, hey, I'll pick it up tonight or I'll pick it up tomorrow morning.
yeah,
Maybe drive by then and tell them hit it a couple times.
yeah, it'll be fine. But yeah,
How many coats you feel you got to put on that with that stuff?
usually, well, they were saying I just put on one coat on the damn thing. It was good, but they were saying that you put on 2 really light dry coats and then hit it and wait like 5 minutes in between and then just hit it. And it's
Okay.
but when we did Samantha's, we just hit it. And that's like how I always did it too. Just sprayed it on there and it was good to go. It flowed out so nice and everything like that. But I guess these guys do like a dust coat, couple dust coats, and then
Yeah.
But I've never had no adhesion problems or anything with it. But yeah, if they just spray it, it'll be fine.
All right, guys.
I'm gonna head out and
See y'all back here
Friday.
Friday night. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right.
Sounds
And
good.
thank you guys over on YouTube
Oh.
too. We appreciate y'all out there, and
Hey,
appreciate
y'all, in case you guys aren't on here again for Friday, don't forget this weekend.
Ringmaster.
Ringmaster, it's a ring-a-thon weekend.
Okay, yeah, good. Thanks for plugging that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
supposed to rain here for the next 10 days.
Well, you can fly in the rain.
You can fly in the rain.
Yeah.
Ringmaster can fly in the rain. Well, I know at least the ringmaster I got to fly in the rain. The way that thing's
I
so
got a
indestructible.
micro. I got
Yeah,
a micro Ringmaster.
I'm old and I can catch a death of cold.
We have what's called the indestructible ringmaster that I bring out there for all the spectators and anybody that wants to come by and say, "Can I try it?" I tell them, "Yeah, go ahead." This ringmaster, it can do tumble salts when it lands.
Oh, I got some
doubt.
micro
Whole body,
Ringmaster with
fiberglass and
it.
everything. This runs with an FP40. It's heavy as all get out.
Mine's got a TD010 on it. Okay, man. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all
All right, guys.
Friday.
Take
And,
it easy. Have a
we'll
good
see.
week.
All YouTubers, thanks for coming, and we'll see y'all back Friday too. Anybody has any questions about getting in, PM me at Stunthangar, Rockin' Rusty, RKN Rusty. All right, fair winds,
All right,
tight
Rusty.
lines, and see you later.
Bye-bye.
Good night.